Well, anyway, right now I'm the only one voice live, so I guess I'll let you guys also be voice live.
Yeah, people
now
need to
you
hear
are.
about me being molested by plastic.
They
don't. They don't at all. Nobody needs to hear about it. It's just me being dumb. Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna have to extend the lead time on the YouTube video, so that's not right at the beginning.
Oh, Damo.
Like, why is this video only 4 minutes long? Oh, they just cut the rest of it. Wow.
That's the cold open. It's just that. It's like, yeah.
Hi, Ellie. Hey, Lawless. Welcome, welcome. You have arrived for yet another iteration of making a TTRPG. The 6th one, in fact.
Wow, 6 already.
6 already. Which means we've been doing this for 6 months.
Yeah. Just
essentially.
This.
This part.
We've been doing the streaming longer than that because we didn't start doing this until like the 4th one. The 4th week? 4th break week? 3rd break week? 4th
or 5th, yeah. 4th or 5th, I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Because I think we had 3 game shenanigans before that, so it must have been 4th.
Yeah. I don't know. It happened in the past, which means I have no idea.
You're also a little bit quieter today. Oh, because your mic's over there.
My mic is, right here. So it is not directly in front of my face.
Yeah.
But I can move this around. We could check.
Yes, Ellie, you have indeed been here the whole time. And we appreciate you.
Considerably.
I need to actually unlock my phone so that I get credit for being in here.
Credit schmedit.
Yeah. I was just talking to the gang over here about the fact that I might go live Thursday. Since it's our off week for our Thursday game.
Oops.
To try to figure out this loyalty points thing, because it's friggin' weird, y'all. I don't know. I assume you guys can see it up there where it says, like, I have 0 points and I'm ranked 3 out of 13 on the leaderboard, and then it says that I have 135 snails. That shouldn't be 2 things, but, you know.
I accidentally closed out of our stream and joined back in, and it's playing that again.
I can paint Thursday. That way you can pay attention to stuff, and I can talk to the peoples. I still have stuff I gotta paint, and we're not doing it Thursday.
It's easy enough. We can do both. Because hopefully it does not take too terribly long to figure it out. But for now, apparently Lawless is a fan of paint.
I like paint.
What's your favorite flavor?
The way I said that has the same like cadence as I like lamb. Exactly. I like lamb.
Or the Red Hot Chili Peppers song. I like dirt. Anyway,
So is there no way to look at your snails?
Normally there is, but it's not working properly. You can type exclamation point and then the word points with no spaces and then hit enter, like I did above there.
Everything tastes like
it'll do this, where it will tell you how many snails you have, but also that you have no points. Streamlabs understands. Stream Elements does not. Do I need to mod Stream Elements? Let me just try that real quick.
I pushed all my bits together, and now I can't figure out where.
Why does Ellie have more steals?
That's an axe.
Because
Ellie's been here from the beginning. No.
So,
wow.
So have you, obviously, since you're, part of the thing.
Hold on.
But you earn snails, Ellie, by being in here, and by interacting in chat, and by clicking on the little chests that are supposed to appear that haven't been doing so, by subscribing or gifting subs, by following, and by rating. Yeah, that is why. She's also going to get a lot more because she's short by a ton of snails because of the subs she gave out before. So I'm going to have to once I get this fixed, I'm going to have to manually add a shitload of snails to her account. Okay. And then JB's owed some, and then a few of our other folks are owed some for just being in here.
Yes.
I've been looking up snails, and YouTube's been recommending me snail videos now.
Is there a real animal facts on a snail.
Yeah, true facts about.
Yes, that one.
Z Frank.
I don't know, but don't look it up right now because we're already sidetracked.
Too late.
I can see him typing. That's why I'm saying. No.
I was gonna say. I thought you were talking to me. I was like, I'm using my hands at the moment.
I don't do anything important during this.
Well, we're face live now. And, I was gonna count it down and then I forgot and clicked the button. Hi everyone.
I think it's more fun when it's a surprise. The viewers might not, because God knows what we're doing. But right? I think it's more fun.
Yeah, there is. It's 10 years ago.
Sacrificing a chicken or something. I mean, they would never, but I would.
He also had true facts about killer surfing snails.
Anyway, hello everyone. Now live, face live, in fact.
Face live.
Yeah, we'll deal with the loyalty points, aka the snails. Probably Thursday. I'll try to figure that out.
I am. Wow, I don't even know where this. I'm gonna just say I'm a banana. That's not what I was gonna say at all.
What?
But my brain just cut out when I said I am something. So.
The only thing I will.
Banana.
Oh, that one.
Wait, when did that happen? Hey, Ellie resubbed. Thanks, Ellie. Yeah. With that Prime sub. That was, I guess, from yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yeah, I think it was
mini. It says Mini Monday, so it's been Monday. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Because I remember that was the first thing that happened when I got on the stream.
Ellie asks, so the panda reading fanfic thing, what rating are we going with? Well,
I would say PG-13, you get one fuck. But
I mean, that's legitimately up to you because that's a Patreon thing. It's not going to be because you can release videos specifically through Patreon. We don't have to put it on YouTube or any of that other shit. So it doesn't matter other than what rating you want to go with, which we need to put into the actual. We'll just put in the actual Patreon guidelines.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, there is no
We might have to. I don't know. We might have to figure something out.
Give me all the clown fetish porn you want. I'll read it.
But more than just that, yeah, he's supposed to be finding TTRPG stories and stuff to also do dramatic readings of.
I was looking at some, and they all made me sad.
Yeah, most of them are kind of depressing.
Some of them
people suck.
That's fine too. Some can be depressing. Yeah. They don't have to be horror stories. Right, you can do glory stories, which you can find some on Crit Crab's channel. Shout out to Crit Crab, great channel. Yeah,
Crit Crab's stuff is good. Yeah. There was this a solid 2-month period where the only things I watched at the gym while I was on the exercise bike was Crit Crab videos.
Yeah, and I got caught up, and then I was like, oh, but yeah, either way, dramatic readings that'll be fun. But then you might get some fanfics, of course, too. Really got to start backlogging those. Because we want stuff. Why are you asking, Ellie? Did you hit our Patreon and I didn't know about it?
Yeah, it's at $9.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, because she asked it for the info yesterday. So
I had that realization too. It's I don't have any of those done.
Almost better not. Someone said to hurry up with that. Weird. Yeah.
Was it me? Did I say that?
No, it was me.
I know.
No, it was me. No, it was me. Wait, who am I?
I don't know who I am right now.
Oh no, God! I'm not who I thought I was. All right, I'll switch this back. Anyway, did you see my totes? Awesome ideas for that. Yes, you did. Ellie did have a good idea for our loyalty points. I'm probably gonna put it in. Well, I don't know if it should be channel points or snails, but she had the idea that one of the cash-ins could be that we have to say something nice about ourselves.
No.
Which is a good idea.
Self-depreciating humor only. That's how I work.
I'm not on board with that. She made a very good point about millennials being terrible at saying nice things about themselves, as evidenced by the fact that none of us want to do it, but it's very healthy. So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I've been going to therapy for 2 years and I still am bad at it. Wait.
I like lamp. 2 years?
2.5 years. Regardless, I think it's a great idea. We'll implement it. I just don't know if it's going to be a channel points thing or a snails thing. Probably a channel points thing. So I think maybe the snails will be more like TTRPG interaction stuff, giving you guys, stunt dice and that kind of shit.
Hooray! Right into that, right? Hooray! There we go.
Flawless with the reference there.
That's a good reference.
That is a good reference. Let's actually get into this stuff. What the heck is on my screen right now? I has no idea. Let's
a dancing
find
potato.
out. Oh, that's horrible.
I mean, not potato. Yes, it is.
What even is this supposed to be? What's a character? Yay, TTRPG indeed. There was way too much outro time on that song. I was like, did it break? Yeah, so Dave had a pretty darn solid idea for how to, for what topic we should go to today. And we're going to talk about skill challenges and how those are going to work. Sorry, I'm moving stuff around on my screen here.
Why did I do that way? That's dumb. I need to rearrange my screen real quick. At a weird angle. There we go.
1 second. There we go. That did it. Done. Put that in the right spot.
Right. Taking some ibuprofen before we get this straight.
Okay. I think you guys should be able to see okay now.
I can see it right now. So I assume that the viewers can because they would think something I'm like that.
Yeah. Okay. Why did I put... It's fine. It's fine. I put the window in a spot that's really inconvenient, but it's, you know what? We'll work with it. We'll work with it. Cool. So, skill challenges. Well, let's take a look at all of our goddamn skills.
I like skills. I got skills.
We have a lot of fucking skills here.
Yeah, we do got
obviously, we have our body skills, which are encompassing most of the weapons, our acrobatics, athletics, perception, sleight of hand, all that combat shit. And then we have our mind skills, which can encompass a lot of things as well. Soul skills, encompass a few things. And then magic, which are also going to fall under mind, but there's a few of them, so, you know. Cool. Let's figure out what the thing is. I need to go find whichever sheet it was that originally talks about the difficulties, which I think was in that combat one? Was that the thing that like I found at like the end of the last video, and I was like, this shit has been here the whole time, and I looked for it for like 3 days.
Yes.
It was in condition, Aegis, and damage, if that's the case.
Yes. I think it is.
It is not in that one. It may be at the bottom of talking points. It is. It is at the bottom of talking points.
It's one of those where it was way lower than we thought it was on the thing or whatever, where I was like, I thought it stopped here, and then it just keeps going.
Yep. Nope, that's my combat example. That does not have the difficulty thing. Yeah. Where the fuck is it? But yeah, so we had to figure out first what each difficulty is, which we have like easy, average. Where the fuck are they? Jotting things down. Maybe it's in here. You know, I had the thought of like, I should look this up before the stream starts. And you know what I did?
Not that.
Not that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Table of contents. Don't worry, guys. One of these days, we'll get to it. It's a-coming.
Let's open the right folder. Here we go. Because I actually opened a different game that I was working on. Because it was, labeled very similarly. So it's not helpful at all.
The word average. No, it wouldn't be in here because. Yeah, this references the difficulties, but not actually.
Nope. Riveting stuff while we just both of us dig through our Google Drive.
Right. Especially to like the Poke Center music. It's not
opening. I'm just opening every file in the Google Drive at this point, looking through them, regardless.
If I don't find this in like the next minute, we're just gonna come up with it. I'm gonna try difficulty, and that is it. Nope. More world stuff. I don't think it's in more world stuff. I don't think it's in any of these.
Nope. Oh, man.
Doesn't exist.
It's gone forever. Until we find it later when we're looking for something different.
Exactly. The movement I know where the movement stuff is. That's good. Challenge time, transition. Oh, that's our breaking down the gratis. I'm like going through closing stuff now, so I'm still kind of seeing it. Okay. Well, for reference, let's bring up other rules. Edit. Expand. Fine, don't. I didn't do shit. Oh well, whatever. Okay, so looking at our talking points thing here, average difficulty is we had I had set average difficulty to 2 successes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what the logic was there.
Man, I don't either.
Because we have a range on our ability scores of 5.
Yep.
And we're saying average is what, 2? Or are we saying average is 3?
Pretty sure average was 2. But maybe
it should probably be 3.
That is the middle.
Now that I think about it logically, right?
So
now that I think with my brain, we should probably have it at 3. And I don't know why I thought it could be 2.
Because I think I was thinking 0 was still in our consciousness as a possible stat. You could have a 0 in something, and then we were like, everything has to be a minimum of 1. So
you're giving me more credit than I think I was just being dumb, and I was like, well, 5 doesn't divide evenly by 2.
So. Everything is placeholder numbers. I don't know.
So it should probably be 3.
3 sounds like a good average.
So 3 is the average, which means... So if we want to go by these kind of typical rule of thumb of like your Pathfinder and D&D type stuff, average is roughly 50% success rate. So I guess... So if you've got a... So let's look at an actual skill here. Let's go back to this thing. Let's go with if somebody's got a average body score of 3, and they're trying to do something athletic. Let's see. So if they're trying to do something athletic, if they're not in any way proficient in athletics, that's just 3 dice.
Yep.
Does that properly represent the average?
If they need 2 successes, and successes are
6 and up.
Yeah, I mean a 50% chance to roll on the dice, right? No, because you need that's a 2. You need 2/3. It's like a 33% chance.
Yeah.
Right? To roll 2 5 or 2 6-ups on 3 dice.
Yeah. Now, if we say instead, I will come back to what you're saying here in just a moment, Ellie. Now, if we add another dice to that, then what is it? I'm really bad at this math.
That should 4 dice. In theory, should be 50%.
In theory, 50%, because on a
D10,
6 is technically the...
Yeah. Let's think about it if it was on D6s, just because it makes easier math for my brain because I'm a Warhammer player. But we're using the same functionality, right? On a D6, a 4-up is a 50% chance, right?
Yes.
If you need to roll 2 successes and you have 4 dice and you have to 4-up on them, you should have a 50%, right? If you only need 2 successes.
Yeah. So I guess I think that's a better representation. Yeah. Just because since our stuff is always going to be core attribute plus skill, right? So maybe we shouldn't calculate the average as 0, right? Even though that's definitely possible. We'll say our average of when we think of can an average person do this, we'll go, 3 in the core, 1 in the skill.
Okay.
Does that seem to make sense?
3 in the core, 1 in the skill. Yeah. So in that, an average person with at least a small amount of training in the thing.
Because an average person level of proficiency in it.
Yeah, an average person who's never done the thing or not in any proficient sense won't necessarily succeed 50% of the time. Yes. But a person who's done it at least somewhat should. So I think that's a fair average. Yes.
And then of course, like having never done it, you've got lower chances of success unless you're otherwise a better athlete or whatever.
Yes. Hey, thanks for the follow. Hello.
Appreciate the follow. The man who speaks in hands 101.
We are making a TTRPG. Yes.
We are indeed making a TTRPG. We are on our 6th session, and it's pretty much just us doing it, so it's not crazy fast going, but we're talking about our skills and how those challenges stack up and kind of doing a little bit of math and crunching and that kind of things.
We also only do the
stuff nerds like
TTRPG once a month. The other 3 weeks out of the month, we do Pathfinder 1st edition. So
if your ongoing campaign next session will be the 31st session. All that stuff is also on YouTube.
Sure has. That means, by the way, since we passed 30, we've been doing this for 10 months. Because we do 3 a month, and then we do 1 break week. So we've been doing this for 10 months. which is way longer than I realized.
Months.
Thinking about it.
The man is trying to make 3 new mechanics for D&D. Nice.
I also, we have a Discord. You should hop in our Discord, chat about that kind of stuff. Let me post a link right here. Always good to have more people join the Discord and share their thoughts. Where's my agent?
Yeah, D&D's pretty versatile. Not too terribly difficult to homebrew some new mechanics and things for it. I've done a few. But in some cases, it could use a little life.
I invented ping pong. I say invented ping pong. I had our group play ping pong in 5 last week.
Yeah, we did play ping pong.
I enjoyed running it anyways. I don't know how much you guys enjoyed playing ping pong, but I had fun running the ping pong.
I cheated a lot.
Oh yeah, you didn't actually play. Your character just helped other people cheat at ping pong.
Someone got real salty. The
salty.
When we all ganged up against his friend. No. The NPC.
Hello, Hugo Stone Art. Welcome.
Oh, wow. How's your people?
Welcome indeed.
We are indeed making a TTRPG. What was the thing that I just said before?
Something about skill successes. We're trying to get... So an average person has a stat, like the actual stat of 3. And then a skill rank 1 means they get 4 dice, which means they are 50% likely to pass an average check of needing 2 successes on 6 ups on D10s.
I should really program a quote for this exact question of what kind of system are you basing it on and what dice. See, we're doing a D10 system. It is success fail, so it's not just like D20, beat a DC. It is difficulty 6, so 6 and up is a single success, and we're actually kind of talking right now about what our levels of difficulty for any kind of challenge is.
Yep.
And yes, D10 dice pool system, exactly. And we just kind of hammered out our tentative, because most things are based on 5, so like body score it would be like 1 to 5. Anything between there is where your score is going to land. So 3 being the average. If we're looking at can an average person accomplish this thing, we look at a core attribute body, for example, of 3. And then in whatever their skill is, we're just going to say we give them 1. So they're a person who has some level of proficiency. They are not an expert. They're not anything impressive necessarily. The man is their system rewrites focuses on the armor and type of damage, item storage, and a grand rework of the magic system. Sounds ambitious. I'm also assuming you're talking about 5e D&D. And then Hugo Stone, doing a similar thing. Also writing your own TTRPG based on a D10 dice pool. Nice! Yeah. Heck yeah. Well, the Discord link is in the chat, so if you want to jump in, you're absolutely more than welcome to talk about your own stuff. We don't mind.
Yep, it is manually done.
Okay, yeah. 5e magic is...
There we go.
It's, it does. It's there. It's a little boring. It's a little boring, not gonna lie. But it's still magic! So, but yeah.
With creative interpretation, you too can cast Eldritch Blast while playing ping pong.
Yeah. But not Fireball.
The
wizard will counterspell.
He could have, but you didn't let him because you were like, no, counterspell.
Look, I'm in the room, bitch. Like, fucking blowing up the roof. There are 2 people in here with counterspell who don't want you to do that.
I also have.
I don't know how he thought we were going to continue
to have a
ping pong table once he fireballed the table out of existence either. Like, yeah, we're going to have a ping pong tournament on the fucking floor.
Freaking doofus. He's not in here. Or call him out.
No, I would too. Snipe, get in here.
But so anyway, our average person would have 4 dice to their roll. So we're looking at an average challenge being 2 successes. Since our difficulty is set at 6, which on a D10 is roughly your 50-50. And this is all very green. as I'm sure you can figure out very quickly, a lot of this is very first draft stuff. So, yeah. We haven't got to play test any of it because it's not done yet. Anyway, so let's go with other rules. Difficulties. So we know, for now, we're going to say, I guess, easy in this case would be 1 success. Average, 2 successes. Hard is going to be 3. What was the other one? I don't know. There's
harder than hard. I forget. We had a name for it.
Was it difficult and then hard, or was it hard and then difficult?
Yeah.
It's difficile.
I do not know.
I don't know. We'll say difficult before hard.
I think we might have used challenging instead of difficult as the term.
I think you're right.
We're using placeholder words again, so
I think you're right. It's 4. We go. Let's see, more questions. Will there be specializations with heavy weapons as well, since you've divided slashing, thrusting, bashing into separate skills? Yes. I'll bring up the skills again here in just a moment. Just want to get these down. Hard, what was it? So 5 would have been like what, daunting or something? 5. We can expand on that as needed. Save that. Yeah, so I think you can't quite see it. Let me lower this. There we go. Let's see. So yeah, to answer the question, yes, we do have heavy weapons. These damage values are placeholders, but there is also a health system. There's HP and stamina, 2 separate things, and we also use a condition tracker. And then there's see, I want to see what I literally just completed, which is the first and simplest part. Yeah, like I said, you can jump in our Discord. You can feel free to throw that stuff in there. We all have ADHD. We can't derail too far and start looking at other things on stream, or we'll get very distracted.
I'm already building models in order to attempt to only have one thing I can be distracted by, guys.
I will absolutely look at that if you put it in the Discord.
1000% my fidget right now.
So, yeah, that's a bit too much to read here live. But let's see. So we got 5 successes is all of it. Or for now is as much as we can, as much as we're going to put it to.
Yeah, at the moment. What is
Discord should be pinned, so if you're on desktop, you should be able to see it at the top of the chat. I don't know where the pinned stuff shows up on mobile.
Usually still at the top, I think. But I don't know, because I'm never on mobile.
I should know. We can on. Oh.
Why is this?
That's weird.
Arm being a jerk. There we go.
You know what?
Because you got it from the jerk store.
Okay? I mean, what?
Because you got it from the jerk store.
Oh. No, I think it's because I didn't properly get rid of my mold lines on that. By the way, these mold line thingies, removers, they're great for scratching. Because they're not sharp or anything, but they're just metal. So if you have an itch.
Mold removers. The next time I got a older piece of bread, I'll be sure to
gross
grab that.
I'm trying to repost.
If you use my mold line remover on moldy bread, I'll fight you.
Okay.
Hugo Stone.
Cheese only.
Not precisely what I meant. I meant heavy slashing. Oh, like its own deal. We might get to that later. There's definitely room for it. But weapons are like a whole thing that we'll have to once we get more into it, that's going to be a whole deal to unpack. I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up with subcategories of heavy weapons as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we'll probably have subcategories of archaic, right?
Yeah.
But also, I just want to say, for those of you just joining us, the mission statement of this game, by the way, is keep it simple, stupid. We are actively trying to make a game that is really simple to learn and teach other people, and is supposed to pass the theoretical Christmas morning test, which is that within a few hours of unboxing this, you should be able to play it. It is not one of those things that we want to take forever to people to get to grips, because one of the things that actually yesterday when I was painting, we were talking about how we got into TTRPGs. One of the daunting things and why it took me so long to play D&D in the first place was I didn't have people to get me into the game. And if you don't have people to usher you in a lot of times, it is overwhelmingly difficult to actually start playing. So we want to kind of subvert that because we want to have TTRPGs be available and easy to play for everybody. So
I've said this multiple times as well. I try to get into D&D 3 or 4 times, and each time I was, man, I don't understand what's going on, like trying to watch people play it and stuff like that. And finally, it just took me putting on a playlist of people playing it, and eventually going, oh wait, no, I think I'm starting to get it. While I was at work, just had it playing in the background, and finally, like, oh yeah, 30 hours in, I finally get it. We don't want it to take you 30 hours to finally get what we're trying to go for here.
It's not the worst way to learn, but taking that long is insane.
Yeah.
I'm a definite learn by doing. Yeah, it's much faster. I kind of figured out the rules to like the Fantasy Flight Star Wars RPG just by watching an actual play of it. But at first it was like, what the fuck are these dice? What are these dice? And yeah, but
I like it.
Eventually I figured it out, and then after I watched like 2 seasons of that whole series, I like later found a video where they like did a quick video that was a tutorial so people would know what how the game was played. And I was like, I couldn't have noticed this. Like
that's definitely gonna be something
freaking 4 years ago.
We're gonna have to do it. I think that would be fun actually.
When you buy the box, it will include a floppy disk, so you have to go buy a floppy disk.
No,
contain a 3.
We're just gonna make a video and put it on YouTube. We're not psychopaths.
You may not be.
Right. Okay, let's see. But yeah, Man Who Speak, I did paste the Discord in here again because I also can't see it on mobile. So I don't know how to see pinned messages on mobile.
I can see my pin, but I pinned it, so and I'm not on mobile, so.
Yeah. Either way.
UND. If you do on UND, please out your PSPs.
Keep it simple is definitely there. Obviously trying to strike the balance of like keeping it simple, but also not being so simple that it's boring for veteran TTRPG players is fun.
We have set ourselves a difficult task.
Why do I not see that? You know what?
All right, there you go, Wallace. I don't know
why I don't see it. It's probably, I don't know, probably because I'm a mod or something. I don't know. But anyways, passing the Christmas morning test is kind of a stretch goal. We originally were like hell bent on making that the thing, and then it was like
it's just not realistic.
There's like 2 of us right now. Like that's so much.
Yeah, and it's just not realistic for a TTRPG with the level of depth that we still want in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we just wanted to make one that does it, we could do it. But
yeah, I've literally got one right now, ready to go. Let's go. Use the D6 system. Let's go. It's already ready to go.
I don't know what Cogent is actually. Here you go.
I mean, I know what that word means, but
I know what the word means. But
yeah, I know
as a thing.
That's what I'm saying too.
I don't.
Anyway,
you didn't say bless you when he said Cogent. Anyways,
okay, so we figured out the difficulty.
Only when you do it.
I know.
We figured out the difficulty levels, or at least the ones for now.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about how do we want to handle actual skill challenges, because if it's just roll these dice, that's a little boring, right? I mean, just on a basic challenge, and without getting into like labeling the different kinds, you know, if it's just like one of those just like as you go rolls, like I want to run over here and I want to jump over this chair before I get to this spot. Okay, cool. Like, sure, you're running this direction, give me an acrobatics or an athletics or whatever. They make the roll. If they make it, they're good. They keep going. We don't have to make that complicated. That's easy. However, if we're talking about something a bit more involved, like an actual skill challenge, agreed. I kind of do want to check that out, but I also want to read all this Lancer stuff. And then, like, why do I have to sleep But anyway.
Dude, that was me yesterday. I stayed up till like 4 a.m. yesterday too.
I would have.
Oh my God.
I woke up at 5 this morning, so I'm pretty tired.
Let's see.
7 something. So did Patrick, I guess, because you were up when I was up. So.
Yep. Basically every day now. Maybe earlier, depending, but we won't get into that. So yeah, for something a bit more involved, like if you're trying to do an actual skill challenge that's interesting to players, let's use, for example, let's use the skill challenge we ran into when we were doing a Goat Without Equal, when you guys were trying to get through the woods before the wild hunt reached you. We didn't even quite get to the actual chase part of that.
Right.
We kind of did, but not really. There's just a few kind of things you want to follow. You don't want to just like rolling the same thing over and over. You want to be able to reward clever ideas and interesting creative play. And I think we have room for that kind of stuff. And earlier I was trying to think of like a good example of like something we could present and then kind of talk through. So let's talk about, let's say we have a group of characters who are trying to cross a river. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Let me close this and go back to our list of skills. Let's see. In this one, we kind of rolled swim and climb stuff into athletics like we did in Pathfinder. And so, yeah. So, if they decide to just try to swim across this river, obviously that is going to be a pretty damn difficult challenge.
Yeah.
Straightforward way to do it. It should understandably be probably the hardest way to go about it, because it's the least creative. It is the most like brute force kind of thing you could try to tackle this with. Hold on. Let's see. How about setting a total of successes for the chase and players suggesting the skills they want to use while doing the challenge? That's actually pretty close to how we handled it. Is as they were going, I'd tell them kind of what was ahead and then present, okay, here's the skill that might be the most obvious, but you can argue a different one, and we kind of went through it that way, and we had some pretty neat things come up. And that's kind of how I like to do skill challenges. Escaping a collapsing castle is also a good one, Ellie. But anyway, so what is happening? What is going on with the music? Did it pause? Did I pause it?
Oh yeah, I definitely don't hear any music.
I must have accidentally clicked that. I was like, something sounds weird. It's silence. Should be good. I'm skipping this. It's too chill.
What is the name of that song? I'm blanking on it. It's by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, though.
No, it's done by me, and it's not copyrighted at all.
It's you singing it makes it a cover. It doesn't qualify.
It's definitely not good enough to get us
copyright.
Wow.
Yeah, nobody's gonna
definitely wasn't good enough to get us. Yeah,
nobody's gonna copyright that, my man. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna change my name from unimportant to can't sing good.
So, crossing a river. What would we say is the difficulty of that? Right?
Depends. Can you swim?
Well, no.
Like, what's
it depends
on
lots of factors, like how strong the river is, how wide the river is. Because like crossing the Mississippi River is a lot different than crossing, like, even if you look at like the Red River close to here, that's not small, but it's not Mississippi River huge. And also, is it like August? Because then you just walk across. But you don't even gotta swim if it's August. You just gotta jump a couple times.
Obviously, we're talking about a free-flowing river. Let's say like middle of
a river.
Middle
You
of
have to make
summer.
a check.
We're gonna say, yeah. I mean, like, if you're going to try to swim, we're looking probably at athletics. Even in the best conditions, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Because there's still a current. It's not sitting still. Yeah. So let's just set that at daunting. We're going to say you need 5 successes to do that. It may even be multiple checks, depending on the width of it. Right? Let's see, Hugo asks, in the river situation, are you talking about if you are creative in the prep, the crossing should be easier? Yes, exactly. So on the one hand, we could say, like, we just put, like, a standard difficulty on it, and say, like, your narrator's gonna know what it is, or whatever, and then you just go, like, okay, there's a river ahead of you, you need to cross it, like, what do you guys do? And if they're like, we swim, you're like, alright, cool, let's start rolling. But... let's say that they're first like, okay, let's try to find, the narrowest point of this river. Let's like walk down it for a while and see if there's like a shallower or narrower part of it. So there's less river to have to cross. That's going to help, right? Maybe that bumps the difficulty down a little bit. Maybe if they get tools, they get extra dice. So on and so forth until they've built up enough of a... They've built their chances up as best they're going to get, and then it's time to make the rolls, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that stuff is mirrored in games like D&D even, where you have a skill challenge. It's still going to come down to maybe 1 or 2 rolls, but it's all about how you prepare and then try to execute that. Or we can have those kind of cascading skill challenges. Yeah, thanks again. Welcome also. Gifting some subs out. Fantastic. Who'd you hit with that?
Folks.
Tier 1 subscriptions.
Heaps.
It hasn't said who yet. There they go. Took a second. Hey Dave, you got it. Dave and Panda both got some.
I got one.
Hey, the man got one. Welcome.
Boop.
And then OCD Gaming got another one. Nice. Fudge. That's gonna be.
So if we're trying to do ways to lower the difficulty, but also potentially add dice, right? So we want to be able to use both those mechanics. This is what we're kind of going at here, right? Is that we have a way to affect the outcome. And now, one thing that I brought up earlier when we were off air talking about this is, in this river example is a good example of this, I think, because we were talking about, so crossing river is daunting. Let's say it's 5 dice.
Yes.
If you don't have the ability to do that through athletics, let's say you have 3 body and 1 athletics, you can only roll 4 dice. You can't roll 5 successes on 4 dice.
Right.
So unless you get creative going about this is an impossible thing to do via the mechanics we've just laid out. So how do we want to tackle that situation?
So 1, we make 10s 2 successes because we haven't tackled crits yet, right? We still don't know how critical successes work. Is it a certain number over or yada yada? But I say maybe we make 10s 2 successes each.
Okay.
That's not the best thing to bank on when you got 4 dice and you need 5 successes.
Oh heck no!
Just saying. But it's something, right? Let's see. Move that over so you guys can actually read.
Ellie asks, what would cling to somebody who can swim count as? Drowning your friend.
That's what I say.
It's going to make that a hell of a lot harder for them.
Probably murder. I don't know. Manslaughter.
Right. Probably a bad thing.
I'm not a lawyer, so don't take what I say about that on any with any legal advice. I do not provide any
treason.
Legal advice.
Look, if I was running this game at this point, I would gently remind people, hey, does anyone have a rope in this party? Cool.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing that's up to the narrator, obviously.
But if they want to be dumb and kill themselves by drowning, then let them.
lowering the number of dice you would need to get a success, rolling a 5 being a success. But if we make a 5 being success, then that has a lot of further implications, because now, on average, you have a greater than 50% chance of succeeding on any roll of the die.
Yeah.
That's a much bigger sweeping change.
Right. One of the things we're also
says telling a player no is an option that what they're trying to do is impossible, which is kind of, I think, what we're trying to avoid, unless it's just obvious.
Yeah, we're trying to make it so that nothing is impossible, it's just unlikely.
Yeah.
Which is what we're kind of discussing this. But I was going to say, one of the things too about lowering success, like the number you use for success, there are certain feats that may lower specific tasks numbers, or there are certain feats that may give you rerolls based on what you're doing. Like you get to reroll failures, so that will greatly increase your chances. Rerolling, even if we say we're rerolling 1's and 2's on all of your dice, or we're only rerolling one failure dice, that still will greatly increase your odds, because it's functionally an extra dice if you're getting a reroll. It's functionally like rerolling 1's and 2's is actually more like getting 2 extra dice, depending on how many dice you're rolling. It could also just be 1 extra dice functionally. But like going into the math part of that is something that's going to come later. Right now, we just kind of have to figure out how it actually works first, and then we can determine the math part so that we can make sure that it is reasonable.
Yes. Thanks for the perfect. Yeah. Giving. Yeah. That's the thing that'll come down to the narrator. Sorry, Hugo asks. I was talking about this specific task. Thanks to the prep you did on. If you can tell them, you think it's pretty unlikely, or you need to find another way. Possibly. Kind of depends on the situation. Base rules wise, I don't know that we can count on how narrators handle the situation when it's outside of the base rules, right? We just kind of hand them to them and let them do what they want to do.
And part of what the base rules are going to do, and that we want to make sure people understand, is this is a guideline, not law, right? So you, the narrator, are able to adjust things as you see fit. And if part of that is going to be telling somebody that it is impossible because that is how you're running your game, that's fine. That's not something we're necessarily going to recommend in the rules, though. What we're going to do is give you an example situation and then recommend ways that you can tackle that or apply the rules as written to said situation, right? Because we want to make rules as written and rules as intended the same as much as we can, right? As clear as we can that Raw and Rye are in harmony. And how you, the narrator, affect those or do things is ultimately completely out of our control.
Yeah. And I mean, just since we're talking about the semantics and chat a bit here, I mean, the way that I would handle it as a storyteller, GM, narrator, whatever, I don't tend to tell people no unless they're specifically talking mechanics. If a player's coming out of character and being like, can I use this skill for this thing? I might say, no, you can't. But if they're like, my character wants to try a thing, let's use the river as an example. Let's say a character who's got some frail, nerdy kid who the body score of 1 and no training in athletics, and you got 1 die to this check, is like, I want to swim across this river. I might paint the picture even clearer for them. It's usually how I handle that. It's like, so are you sure about that? Look, this river is flowing very quickly. You see lots of sharp rocks. It's moving fast. You've definitely never swam in anything like this before. You even see some like big branches and things getting like swept by very quickly. That looks daunting. And if they're like, I'm just gonna try it anyway. Like what, YOLO. Like, okay. You understand that if you fail this, you're going downriver. And if you understand that, go ahead and roll the die. No modifiers, flat. Right? Like, that's probably how I handle that. Especially if they're a veteran player.
Yeah.
If they're really new, I might press it a bit more.
Yeah.
Just one or two more times.
Letting your players make their mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm. But that's how I might handle that. But I do like what Hugo's saying there about crits. Is like, if you succeed and you get at least 1/10 on a die, that's a crit. I think that's a really simple way to handle that. But let's say, because we know a 1 and a failure is a botch / crit fail. So a 10 counts as, so I don't forget, as 2 successes.
Let me just drop my foot a second and I had to fill the void. Ellie's answer: it is unlikely that you'll suddenly gain the ability to walk on water, but go ahead and try.
Right.
Like Ellie's just trying to drown people.
Yeah.
Am I gonna have to change your name in the Discord again, Ellie, to like Ellie the Siren or something? Because you're just trying to drown people.
I don't know, but I think it does. I don't play Vampire, but I have played Werewolf the Apocalypse and Exalted, so I've played some White Wolf systems, and I believe that's how that's handled in both of those. I know the botch rule is the same. Roll a 1, you fail, then if you fail and you also rolled a 1, it is a botch. Which is a really bad fail. Let's see. Rolling a 1. I don't know. Should we? I don't know if we want to have the thing where you roll a 1, you lose a success.
Ellie, I think I changed you to the Grudge Keeper because of whatever you were talking about last time, where you were all about them grudges. So
that's the thing in the White Wolf systems too, at least in both the ones I played, I believe, where if you roll a 1, it actually takes a success away, and I always fucking hated it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan
because it's
of
weird that because it's in a system where your kind of mechanical goal is like get as many fucking dice as possible before you roll, especially in Exalted. But it's like the more of them you have, the more likely you are to roll a 1. And even though 10s counteract them, it's just Hugo says taking away success and I don't recommend on top of the boss system. It is like double dipping. I agree. I also just don't like taking away successes. Granted, difficulty in I think Exalted, I don't remember in Werewolf suddenly, even though I've been looking at the rules recently, I think is 7. So it's also harder to get successes than in this, but either way, rolling a 1 is just a fail, but we'll just say rolling 1 is never a success. Because let's just say maybe somebody figures out a way to stack up enough difficulty lowering things that they were like, I could succeed on a 1. It's like, no, the rule is a 1 is never a success on a die roll.
Yeah, well, that's like,
but it doesn't take away a success.
Any D6 system you run, I say any. They may not always put this in there. But any D6 system you run, they should always say a 1 is always a failure, a 6 is always a success. However, they don't always say it. So I think we need to, from the start, say a 1 is always a failure, a 10 is always a success, regardless of negative modifiers or positive modifiers. But
come on. There. Now that's noted. Jesus Christ, we're still trying to cross this river. But so anyway, I don't know if there's like a name for that kind of skill challenge where it's lots of preparation, couple of rolls, but either way, we're looking at that one. I see the river challenge as mostly that. If you're just trying to cross it, right?
Right.
Obviously, rope helps. Obviously, any amount. Like I would say, you would probably have stuff that just flat helps, right? Without even making a check. It's just like you do this, that's going to help you. And then some things, it's like, okay, you still have to make a check to try to establish that, right? But anyway, I think that works fine in this. I guess the only thing that I'm thinking of is like, we're probably gonna need not necessarily names for higher difficulties, but skill challenges I feel like should have, in general, a higher number of successes needed, because you're expected to do things to lower that difficulty and boost up your chance, your own dice pool. before tackling them. And then to finally get to addressing what happens if you just don't have enough. Like let's say as the narrator, you know that it's going to take 10 and they build up to like 7 dice. Obviously, you know, use your narrative ability to like kind of explain that, yeah, this still looks like you're not sure this is going to work or whatever. We do have the drive system, which we still haven't gotten to figure out how we generate it. But
yes,
characters do have drive as their expendable, as the universal expendable resource that you don't want to run out of or you turn undead. And I don't mean turn them away from you, I mean you become one.
Turn undead, very different spell.
Right? I ran out of drive, and then all of a sudden, no, buddy, it's bad.
It's real
bad. So I don't know what we do with that. Do we have drive be a resource that just flat adds dice? Do we have it give you auto successes? Obviously, this is base rules, so we can't think into what do class mechanics interact with it as, because that's going to be separate completely. We haven't even developed classes all the way yet. But base rules, what does it do for everyone? In something like Exalted, you have Essence, which you can spend either to get extra dice or to get automatic successes. Right? Now, running out of Essence, horrible. You're basically dead if you're in a fight, especially with the shit you fight in Exalted. Like, you don't want to run out. But you can spend it, this expendable resource, to do one of those two things. You can also do it, there's like a whole list of shit you can do with it, which when you have excellencies, and it's a really, really fucking complicated system. At least the version that I played, they've come up with a new one since. But I don't think we want to get that deep in the base rules. I think maybe we pick one or two things that you can just choose to do with it, right? Let's see, originally for D6 changed here. One of my follower players on Saturday is a scoutmaster. He loves throwing in crazy real-world solutions. I'm imagining an IRL doctor going all out in this necromantic world. We don't have any doctor friends, but yeah, maybe. It's really funny, like, having to, like, run stuff and have people come up with solutions to things because they have an expertise that you as a narrator have no fucking clue about. Is like, yeah, dope, man. Hey.
It's fun.
Thank you, Hugo, for the follow. Appreciate that. Ellie says, I've been thinking of drive as mental health. Depression equals less drive to do stuff, and exist equal become undead. The people who can afford therapy and sociopaths are probably safest. I don't like how that's kind of accurate in a way to how it sort of comes across. Because for our newer people, this world is called Shard. And yeah, there's undead are all over the place. They're kind of a labor resource and other kinds of resources. Magic and a lot of like energies, especially supernatural energies, are based on the humors. Thanks for the sub. That was nice of you, Lawless.
Just heard the sound had to look up.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, without getting super far into it, if you kind of want to see a lot more of the lore stuff, we did it in our very first Making a TTRPG stream, which is on YouTube. But if you run out of drive, you begin to turn into an undead creature, because death is kind of a force in this world, and you can get too close to it and not be able to pull yourself away. So in a way, yeah, it is kind of adjacent to 1's like mental health and fortitude, but it's a bit deeper. There's a kind of quintessential level to it, where there is a supernatural element. But everybody has this drive stuff, right?
That's what I'm making a TTRPG playlist. I just put in the
nice, thank you.
Chat. So if anybody wants to check it out, it's there.
It would be, hell, you could think of it like willpower even, because that's something you will be familiar with as a mechanic in White Wolf systems. Willpower is a good parallel for it. It's just even deeper than that. We just haven't come up with everything you can do yet. So, Ellie says, I wouldn't be surprised if physical healthcare is relatively cheap because the government wants healthier corpses for their zombie workforce. It probably depends on where you are.
No, die faster so we can have your body.
And who you work for.
And who you work for. And if somebody has a claim over your corpse when you die, even. Right?
It's not about
because then they have a vested interest in keeping.
Not about the quality of the body; it's about the quantity of bodies.
Also true. But yeah, so drive. I think is a way to try to overcome things that are normally impossible for someone. Oh yeah, have a good night, Hugo. Thanks again for coming and hanging out, and we look forward to seeing more of you. Take care.
Bye.
But yeah, I think that would be kind of a cool way for drive to get used. We still don't know how much people have of it, but did we talk about maybe go ahead and basing it on soul?
I believe that was our discussion.
Was that the discussion? Because you gotta. It makes sense in a lot of ways too. Like having one soul is a problem. like I don't know, just as like a baseline, maybe we say it's like level plus, like character level plus soul, right?
Yeah.
As a baseline. Hell, we could do the thing where like you get it from multiple sources. So maybe like character level plus soul baseline, but maybe your heritage gives you a certain amount from like 1 to 3 or whatever. Maybe your class even gives you a certain amount. That way people are starting with enough to be able to spend it, right?
Right, yeah. Because if, in theory, we're starting at level 1, of course, we don't want people to only have like 2 or 3 and then run out immediately before they even level or anything like that. So
yeah. Where it's like, you can never spend it.
Drive replenishes on level up, at least somewhat. Like you're obviously going to get 1 because we're doing level plus, right? So you get 1 more no matter what.
Yeah.
But do we want to like replenish half? Because obviously we don't want to give them all of it back because then they're incentivized to use it a lot.
I feel like because it is our baseline expendable resource, we probably want it to be more replenishable than that because it's not peril counters.
Right.
It's not your get out of jail free card. It's your.
We don't want to give them all of it back necessarily, just on level.
Not immediately.
That's
right.
There are going to be other ways to regenerate it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like when you level up, you should still get more than just the 1 for leveling up. I feel.
I don't know. Oh yeah, I think it should be more than that. I'm not even super against them getting all of it back when a level up, but we don't know. That's going to be a playtest thing, right? Maybe we say half. Yeah.
That's definitely something that we have to trial and error.
Would people be able to buy artificial soul when they're desperate? The black market stuff has an addictive quality and diminishing returns, maybe even negative. That's going to be down to humors. 100%.
That reminds me of an episode of Tales of the Crypt where a guy was trying to find the human soul in a person, and I don't know. It was real weird. That's what that reminds me of, man. It's in your back, apparently, according to Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, agreed, Giselle. Ellie's awesome. Yeah, I mean, in a way, that does kind of seem like we have a few different. That gives us another HP pool in a way. So we have our HP, our condition tracker, and our drive. It's kind of
HP is my favorite expendable resource.
It is, especially in Magic.
Especially in Thursday's campaign. I'll just give that away like as candy.
But yeah, on level up, that'd be cool. Get some back, and then otherwise, we say maybe you get like your level per like day for like full rest or whatever.
Yeah,
is how much comes back.
Or maybe that's, or maybe when you rest, you get your soul's amount back, because then that makes it more important that your soul is higher.
That makes sense.
But again, I think that's going to come down to playtesting as well, like figuring out how much to get back and stuff. But as long as we have the concept of you will be able to replenish it daily, but then also on level up, you may get more. So that way, if your pool is not full, it will go back to full.
But so yeah, I guess that then again, baseline, what does drive do? Soul out drive. Because so I'm kind of hearkening back. Giselle will remember Exalted. I do not remember everything it can do. But like when you spend essence to gain extra dice, it's like a choice. You can either spend it to get extra dice equal to yada yada yada, or you can spend a higher amount to get X number of automatic successes, right? But especially with how granular Exalted's combat is, because there's like I think 8 phases per like go. I can't remember how many. It's very granular, and certain things can only be done on certain phases, or before certain phases, or after certain phases, blah, 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 blah. But because of that, like, trying to think, like, okay, I can also spend this amount of essence to get this, like, these things. Like, it always became this kind of bogged down conversation of, like, here's how you can spend it, here's how many of these you can get, but it's based on all of these other mechanics. I don't think we're in the territory where that's going to be too much of a problem. We could literally say, like, okay, 1 drive per extra dice, or 2 drive per automatic success. And that's
I think we also probably have to put a limit on the amount of those you can use per check, because I don't think
except there's already a fail state.
I guess that's true. The artificial limit is how much drive you have, right? Another thing I was going to say is, so I think baseline, that's really good. Like those 2 simple things, right?
Okay.
Are good. But then, like you said, I do want to do stuff for specific classes and things later on with drive, where similar to like stratagems in 40K, where you have command points, which are a renewable resource you get every turn. You start the game with X amount of command points based on how you do your army building. And then every turn you generate a command point, and you can use these command points for skills, or they're called stratagems, but you can use them and they do specific things, right? And like each army has its own unique stratagems, but there are also base rulebook stratagems that everybody can use. There's like 3 of them. And so I think it should be that same kind of thing where these are our base drive usages, these 2 things. And then we'll have granular ones per class. But not a ton. Absolutely. I don't want there to be like 10 per class or anything. It's like, 1, 2, whatever.
It's just not like a ton. Things might use it. It's like spend 1 drive to activate an ability or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think the other thing that we'll need, that people will need to be made aware of, is we don't know what they are exactly yet, but I feel like there should absolutely be other ways to lose drive other than spending it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, certain things can take it away from you or just cause you to lose one. So it's like, it's never good to like spend all the way down. Right?
I think that's good too, especially like if we make, so one of the things we haven't talked about with skill checks is what happens on failures for some things. Like the crossing the river scenario, you kind of mention it, you fail this, you're going to get washed down river. And then you're going to have another check to like grab onto something to get out of the river, let's say,
yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah. I get you.
Arrest your momentum, right? We'll have multiple things for those failure checks. But if one of those is you start to lose drive because you are now discouraged, you're being washed in a river. You know, you're having that like mental, like, I'm never getting out of this river. I'm going to drown. Even if you are staying above water, you're slowly going to be having drive ticked off the more you fail those. So that could be a thing too, especially with like critical failures. there's a potential that you also could lose drive based on what you're doing, like, or how much you fail by or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Ellie said,
Absolutely.
basically
PTSD,
mental anguish style thing is gonna be able to tick drive off of you because, that's a thing, man. It's 100%.
It's fucking you up. Let's see, so those absolutely make sense. And then, when you're mentioning the what happens when you fail, that reminded me of the thing we were talking about earlier. Push mechanic is you can push rolls.
I like push.
What does pushing a roll mean? Well, peasants. I'm kidding. It means,
peasants? No.
So push. It means when you fail, you can try again. Now, I don't know if we should add a base cost to this. Maybe in certain situations. Maybe that's a narrator fiat of whether it costs drive or a peril count or whatever to try something again because it's incredibly dangerous or you crit failed or whatever, right? But either way, push mechanics are one of the things that are, speaking of narrators, a bit more narrator intensive. Because let's say you dive in this fucking river because, you're not very creative, but you're real strong. And you're like, I'm swimming. And you fuck it up. So you're in the middle of the goddamn river and you get swept down it and you're headed right towards some of those sharp rocks that the narrator just warned you were there. You're like, no, I don't want to do... Hold on. Because if I get into that tailspin, I don't know if I'm coming out. Okay. So when I feel like I'm starting to when I'm starting to lose to this current, I'm gonna just... I know you're not supposed to when you exert yourself, but I hold my breath and I just try to give it all I've got and just get across as fast as I can. You give them a description of how you're going to try to push past this potential failure, and the narrator will give you another roll. The problem with pushing a roll is you also double down on the failure. If you don't succeed when you push a roll, it's worse than it would have been before. So, let's say if you fail the first time...
on pushing your roll is automatically a crit fail, too.
We treat it like a crit fail.
Yeah.
And if you already crit failed and you pushed a crit fail, then it's worse. Right?
I need that thing of Stephanie Beatrix, who played Diaz on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, doing the worse every time that,
Bump that up.
Terry was trying to figure out what got her kicked out of ballet school. Catholic school. Worse.
Ellie says, I was about to say, damn it, Dave, you had one job, but remember that we have a Dave here. You're good, Dave. It's other Dave.
It's other Dave. There's lots of other Daves, don't worry.
There are lots. So let's say if you just failed that roll normally, you get swept towards the rocks or whatever. Let's say maybe what was going to happen is you're probably going to hit these rocks, take some damage, but you're going to get another check to try to get across. Instead, you push. You fucked it up even worse. So you roll real bad. So now it's worse. Now you hit the fucking rock, and because you were holding your breath, now it knocks the wind out of you and you're dazed, so you get swept even further down the river, out of sight of your companions, before you get another check.
And you not only take regular damage, you also take some stamina damage.
Yeah,
you were holding
probably hit
breath.
Your stamina real hard, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so you made it worse by trying to push it, and by, let's be honest, having a bad idea in the first place. You just... I'm gonna just free swim across the raging rapids. That's
really, this
idea,
RPG is just a way for Patrick and I to get back at our players for having stupid ideas.
Do it. Go ahead. No.
Fireball the ping pong table. I feel bad because he's not here.
Well, we already said it to his face.
I know.
We immediately called him out.
I just feel like he's not here.
But anyway, so push mechanic exists. You failed? No worries. Try again. Failed again?
Worries.
Oh shit. That's just worries. Yeah.
Worry a little. Wait, where's the thing? Don't worry. Worry a little.
You're right. Yeah, push mechanic, fun. It'd be cool if, honestly, you could add one more thing to the base thing in drive. If you choose to spend drive to push a roll, you get an automatic success. I'd be okay with that. Eh? No, not automatic success. An extra die. Except you can already do that. Yeah. So maybe not.
I don't know.
We just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, push, fine. So you fail. As far as I don't know if we need to put. I don't know if I want to put a limit on how much drive you can spend in one go.
Yeah,
right.
Considering that there is an artificial limit, and that if you run out of drive, you're boned. I guess we don't need to. I was thinking of it more like the command points resource, where running out of them does nothing negative to you. Forgetting that running out of these real bad.
Yes, very bad. Very, very bad. And we'll probably come up with because I see it as it doesn't instantly kill you, right? Like, just running out of drive isn't, you're immediately undead. We'll come up with a system of how much time that actually takes and that kind of thing.
It'll be a status thing, probably similar to how our other status trackers work.
Yeah, where it's the clock's ticking, and likely we'll come up with a probably fairly decent mechanical spelled out skill challenge for giving a person a proper transfusions and whatever operation needs to be done to bring their drive back up, bring their humor levels back up, so that they don't become undead. That'll probably be something more spelled out, because it's a thing that's it's likely to happen over the course of a campaign, at least once.
Especially if I'm a player.
Especially if Dave is a player, or you have a Dave-like player.
Yeah.
Who goes, all right, I spent all the way down to 2. That should be good. Now I don't have to spend any more. What's that? I fell off a cliff.
Yeah. What's that? I rolled 4 1s in this check. I only had 3 dice.
Yeah. Well, guess I'm spending a 0 and hoping my companions save me. I'm either regular dead or I'm undead, so... But, yeah.
One of these things is worse than the other.
Yeah, we'll probably have downtime activities and that kind of stuff that can help bring your drive up faster. Bless you. Harley.
Harley.
But, fucking hell. No, otherwise, I think, failures are going to have a range of results, because I don't think we build in, anytime you fail a check, X happens, right?
Right.
Maybe a common, you crit fail at something, you might lose 1 drive, right?
Yeah.
Not to be confused with 1 drive, which you want to lose. It's fucking annoying. But
1 drive, man.
But I could see that being a pretty common penalty for failing at certain, crit failing at certain checks.
Yeah.
I could also see getting rewarded drive back for critical successes on certain things too.
Totes.
But
or you just crush something, that just feeling of fuck yeah, I'm the best.
I haven't put in a panel points cost for dog tax.
So. Buddy, get on that.
Buddy. You've already slept for 14 hours. It is time for your small amount of time on camera.
After the puppy tax is paid, we should take our break because it's 10:30.
Yep. I just watched a video of a security guard slapping a hippo trying to get out of its pen at some zoo.
Everybody.
He what now?
Multiple times. He slapped a hippo.
He what now?
First of all,
he decided he wanted to die. He woke up and chose
the wall to this hippo enclosure is about 2 feet tall.
Look at the sleepy boy.
I was asleep, and then I sneezed.
And now I'm looking into this stupid ring light.
I don't understand
even do makeup. Why is that there?
I'd rather have an onion ring. than a ring light.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
Me three.
Onion rings are good.
Did you hear him?
No.
Did you
No.
hear?
Stop talking.
There you go. He's a good boy. All right, Harley, go lay down. Hey, good boy. Okay. But yeah, we'll take a short break here.
Hooray! I have to pee.
Yes, we come back in say like 10 minutes.
It's the only taxation that's a gift, Molly, because it is a gift to all of us to get to see Harley, as opposed to most taxes, which are cost you stuff.
They're not theft. I won't have it. But
I did not say they were.
I know. I just putting that out here. Anyway,
we all vote on them. I mean, if you go and vote, you should vote. Vote, people.
Yeah, voting is the real thing. No, anyway, so let's go to away and come back in like 9 minutes now.
Hooray.
No, don't wait on me on these ones because I don't really. I'm not the one talking.
Yeah, I was also looking at Discord stuff, but we're back now.
I'm scratching my leg.
You're too far from your mic, Dave.
Oh, I said I'm scratching my leg. It's itchy.
Oh, thank you.
No, he said, mimes hatching thy eggs.
I definitely did not mention mimes.
Mimes hatching the eggs. You know, Mr. Mime.
Nope.
You bred him in that Pokemon Center, and now he has an egg. You gotta do that. So get a little Mime Junior. He's out of that egg.
Lover of mimes. That's him. That's Dave.
Mother of mimes.
If anybody's ever seen me react to a Mr. Mime just showing up on screen randomly, you will know that is not true.
For a Patreon goal of whatever, how many dollars, cover of Mother of Mime, but it's replaced with Mime. I'll do it. It won't be good.
It won't be
That's
good.
about as far as the joke goes right there.
I don't think it can, but you know.
It's a song other than Bone Man, okay?
Bone Man.
What's wrong with Bone Man?
Not a goddamn thing.
It's out of calcium.
Where did Bone Man come from?
We were playing Elden Ring.
Yeah, it did. It definitely came from Elden Ring.
That's as far as I remember.
Skeleton. The man made the bones. Bone Man. Bone Man. Yeah, it was Elden Ring.
Yeah, it was definitely Elden. You know what? It's not important right
now. Not even a little bit, but that's okay.
I'm just surprised that I don't remember. But
stuff I wish we had recorded because everybody else would know.
It might have been said on a stream, but it's been what did you say, Dave? 10 months since we started this.
Yeah. It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute now. I'd also like to open the floor to the debate in the chat between the difference between a hot minute and a cold minute. You guys can say that without me.
It is not long man's cousin.
Long man. One of those dumb commercials.
Yeah, it's great. Fucking hell. Skills. Drive. Other stuff. Well, it was a pretty rich topic. I don't know what else specifically to tackle in there.
I was just gonna say eat the rich because you said rich, but so it's my natural inclination.
Okay, so we kind of know how those work. Skills are obviously still going to be a little bit of work, just as we refine things.
Yeah.
Magic.
Magic.
It's a deep motherfucking well. Want to work on magic?
I mean, yeah, why not? Let's get it.
It's a big one. Let me see if I can summon one of the old documents. Kind of just curious what the old magic system document says. If it has anything good in it to use. Y'all in the chat won't see this because it's the inside of the Google Drive, and it's none of your business, even though we like you.
It's all in the menu file.
But I will read things to you. Like a good narrator. Don't boo me, Lois.
Boo this man. Now, I was saying boo.
Are you not entertained?
Was anybody saying boo earns? I was saying.
But no, it's just, I really don't care if people see it. It's just that it's so much random, theoretical, unsorted stuff that...
we would prefer to present you a practical and not a theoretical, in the words of the 13th Vigil.
But have Panda narrated as part of his podcast. Panda can't pronounce half these words.
That's rude and true.
Pout. No, I use mostly
I'll do
words.
it, but well, I thought one of your team members pronounced it this way. I thought that's how it was pronounced. No, that was Panda.
His pronunciation is non-canon.
Did you read the disclaimer at the beginning and the ending of that video? No, skip through it. Well, that's your fault.
People don't read.
How
dare you? Neither do I.
The rule is one take, no backtrack. That's the rule.
Yeah.
No.
I don't do 2 takes. Amateurs like you do 2 takes. I'll be in my trailer.
You would bring this into a Futurama reference.
Yeah, I can't avoid Futurama references.
Ellie says, "Ha, same. I can read, but I can't talk." She didn't say the last part, but
she took some creative license with it. That's okay.
A little creative license with that, but I feel like she'll appreciate it. So in my initial notes, I talk about spell tiers, even though we don't. Anyway, spell levels are determined by marks, such as mark-ass tricks or trick-ass marks. Each mark of a spell uses 1 unit of the appropriate humor. That's probably going to change. The mark of a spell is judged solely by the amount of humor it consumes, not its overall effect, as that varies with personal skill and power. This is the original draft, so non-canon.
The reason this is stupid. The reason I'm so good at... I
can tell by the way you're doing your face.
The reason I'm so good at, necromagic, all the dark magic is all my dark humor that I'm full of.
Nah, not yet. Anyway, it's really because is this the time when I finally booted from the call?
Yeah, you're just hovering over the kick.
Not yet.
Look, it's one of the few times it's like, all the magic based on the humor. Dark magic, dark humor. You could do it.
And that's what you came up with.
Yeah, because
low-hanging fruit
gets eaten first.
Yeah,
it's the easiest to pick.
There are 4 categories of mark.
Is easily.
I already made the trick-ass joke, so I'm just gonna move on. Basic. God damn it! Everything's a joke. You're basic.
You're basic. Anyways, but yes.
This set of marks encompasses 1 through 5 and are the only spells cast by most invokers in their lifetimes. High. This set encompasses 6 to 9 and are typically only displayed by masters or the truly desperate or reckless. Theoretical. 10-mark spells are considered theoretical in that they are only theoretically possible or only observed in very fringe cases. not keeping all of that. I still like using the terminology of marks for a spell. That's fine. But also, even our definition of spells is different. I don't even think it's in this sheet. Because those of you familiar with Dungeons and Dragons may be familiar with the spell Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Or, if you play Pathfinder, Hideous Laughter. That's a spell. Fireball is a spell. Magic Missile is a spell. Summon Nature's Ally is a spell. Prestidigitation is a spell a lot of people can't pronounce.
It's also a spell I cast very often.
Yes, it is a very fun cantrip. However, we're not going to have that. We're not going to have a book of fucking spells that you can cast, and you got to go and pick them and learn them and that kind of thing. The idea was to have things that each humor, when channeled, can do, and then you decide what to do with it. I know, that was a really fucking vague way to say that. But basically, for example, the melancholic humor is the one that's representative of Earth. Whenever you invoke the Earth element out of the melancholic humor, there was just specific things that can do. Excuse me. Here, in the first draft, it's in the magic system sheet if you want to look at it, Dave. I don't know if you wanted to follow along or not, but I know your hands are busy right now, but just in case.
Yes.
You use your third hand.
My mouth can hold this. There we go. It's my third hand, for those of you who don't know.
So in your first draft, it said Earth is represented by the melancholic humor, or the black bile in the body. Melancholic's primal force can move, shape, soften, or harden any mineral or fully mineral compound. This can turn a stone into a new shape, soften it into sand, gather dirt into stone, or levitate/shunt an appropriate mass of earth. It can also be used to encourage the growth of vegetation. Processed minerals such as refined metals require double the humor investment to utilize. And then I tried to set a baseline for each of these. Now, this stuff might be usable still, but this still means trying to set a baseline. Is 1 cubic foot of material can be affected/created, and the effect can be sustained for 1 minute. And that's per mark or per use of humor. That's obviously like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We're also not even using we're using yards, not feet as measurement. But it'll still probably come down to something kind of like that, right? Where we have like, here's what you can do with the earth shit as a baseline if you can invoke it, if you can use his primal force or supernal abilities.
Yeah.
See, water represented by phlegmatic or phlegm can move, shape, condense, or vaporize water or water dominant liquids. The baseline on that is 1 cubic foot, still first draft. Material that is in a liquid state can be affected or created, 1 minute sustained. So it was mostly put into, I guess what we're trying to like define is how much, like, what can this shit do? How much of it can it do it with, and how long can it do it with it? Shut up.
No, I understand what you mean, but so we're looking for, we're looking for effect, we're looking for duration, and we're looking for target?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Target, effect, duration. That's essentially what we're trying to find out. Or nail down.
So these are also supposed to be able to generate this stuff, right? So you can turn, say, choleric humor or yellow bile into flame, right?
Right.
Or you use it to control flame, right? Now, on the one hand, this can get fairly complex, obviously.
Yeah.
But also, again, players aren't having to go every level and pick a bunch of spells and learn how all of this magic works and how does it apply to this thing and so on and so forth. Like, the complexity is going to happen somewhere. And I think when it comes to magic, it can happen here without too much, hopefully too much trouble. But I don't know. It's just going to take having people fuck with it.
Yeah. I think this is one of those things where we're going to have to set up what we set up, and then we're going to have to hand it to playtesters and let them tell us what they think is too complicated or too not, because trying to, out of the gate, just say, this is too complicated, this is too whatever, is not doing our job as devs and not letting playtesters do their job as playtesters. I think we just need to set up what functions and works for us, and then we tweak the knobs on complexity after we have a system that actually works.
Yeah. Plus, the one of the main things with this is, honestly, anytime I come to the concern of like, is this going to be too complicated? It's not even about the play. It's not even about like using it in action. It's about building it.
Yeah.
The person building the character, when they look at the Invoker and see the rules for magic, do they just go, dude, fuck that?
Right.
Or do they go, okay,
and
like,
some of that's going to come down
this says like fire, this says earth, like what do these things do? Oh, I can just do that? That's cool.
Some of that's going to just come down to our presentation and then and the technical writing that we use. Less the complexity of the skills themselves and more of the complexity of how we present it. Because one of the things that's so daunting about being a spellcaster in Pathfinder and in Dungeons and Dragons and stuff is the spell lists, right? Like, Panda, you can attest to this. You got to make a spellcaster kind of for your first time, really, when you were doing the Druid for Goat Without Equal, and it's a massive list, right? And you're a divine caster, which means you get to pick from any of them to prepare for your day
daily.
Yeah, it's huge. It's not like you're a sorcerer where you only know like 10 fucking spells. Like Eli barely knows any spells. Yeah, Eli barely knows any spells, so it's way easier. But I still had to sort through that list. If you watch my computer when if we shared my screen, there's like 80 tabs open because I just go through the spells and I click open new tab, open new tab, and then I go through and read them all individually, and I slowly eliminate the ones I don't want until I'm left with 3 or whatever number I've got to learn. And then it's like, boom, okay, these are the 3 I'm keeping. And it's
you don't choose the ones that sound cool.
Of winnowing down, going through what will be effective and what works well with each other, or like based off what I already have to, because I have to have my character sheet open to know what I've already got, because I don't want to double up on the same effect.
Day 6 of picking my spells.
Right.
Vomit Swarm sounds both awful and effective. I'm picking it. It actually is a really good spell.
What is, I'm trying to remember the one I was talking about, like the one that's the bull rush with a thing of blood. Blood wave of blood, or blood wave. Where I'm like, that sounds gross, but also rad. I want to bull rush somebody with some blood.
Fucking shining elevator scene on people.
Yeah.
It's like, right, I'm gonna hide over here in this closet, and when you open it, get the fuck out of the way. I'm doing a thing.
That's weird. You said the blood gets off on the second floor. There's a Simpsons reference, since I did a Futurama reference earlier.
So anyway, so in the fucking magic things that our audience can't see right now, we have to go back over the humors. We have melancholic, which is the black bile, represents earth. We have phlegmatic, which is phlegm, represents water. Gross. We have choleric, which is yellow bile, represents fire. And then we have blood. Sanguine, representing air. And for our game, since we have a 5th humor, we have immure, which it represents the void, and it is represented by in the body is plasma. So yeah. Cool. That got that out of the way. So the idea I had earlier is because I was remembering this sheet, but this is my first time looking at it again since talking about magic. Spreadsheets do help, Ellie. I know you probably said that a while ago, but so the idea I had is looking at something that you guys can see.
That was a really weird way for me to do that. Sorry.
Magic skills, and so let me pull this all the way up so you guys can participate. Yeah, there we go. Scroll down to the magic skills.
That would actually be a really fun bard, by the way, Ellie. Is magic powered by terrible jokes. That would be a super fun bard play.
Keep coming up with terrible jokes. Keep on doing it.
Yeah.
So, like for example, when I was talking about the Earth, I even put in bold in the sheet that what it can do. It can move, shape, soften, and harden. Right. This is the second time I've gone through it. And I giggled on the first time.
I avoided saying that's what she said both times. Anyways.
Stop. No, so I came with those things as like, what can it do? But earlier had the thought of like, what if we pair a thing it can do to each of the magic skills?
Mm-hmm.
So we would need more than 4, right? Mm-hmm. But like, so each thing would have a thing that each element would have a shaping base, a biomancy base, an infusion base, a manifestation base, a psychomancy base, a casting base, and a mitigation base.
Okay. I do like that since we came up with those. What did we put that in? The discipline stuff that we had. Was that in
discipline stuff?
Yeah, where we wrote that down. Was that in this one? Because we had our disciplines listed.
When you say disciplines,
magic disciplines.
Oh, it's in the what's a character.
Okay, that's what I thought it was in.
It's in and it's in skills, which is on both talking points on our sheets and on something else.
Cool.
But yeah, if you're in Roll20 and you bring up that what's a character handout, you'll see all of it.
Yeah.
It's under magic on that. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because he didn't give any clucks about oncoming traffic. Yeah, it did some damage. Success.
If it wasn't a good joke, you would have got an egg on your face.
I'm wearing a black shirt. Can they tell I'm still here?
Yeah.
Fuck. No, anyway. So. So yeah, that was the thought earlier, was that because the other thing about these humors is they also, because they're from like old alchemical bullshit with no true basis in science, but they also represented other stuff like certain seasons and ages and qualities, phases of the moon and planets.
Yeah.
And organs, specific organs, because ew. It was supposed to be medical, so yeah, we can come with some shit. So let's start with Earth. Like, we have what, fucking almost an hour left. Melancholic.
The half moon. Not the moon.
Oh. So, like, going through the different magic disciplines, like, what would...
So shaping is kind of like what we were talking about, where you're able to manipulate its physical form, like earth and stuff. The kind of original power base that we were going off of, that would be in shaping, right?
Yeah, probably everything but moving, right? Like shape, soften, and harden.
Yeah. So biomancy, we have to do something with I want to say like the minerals and stuff in our body, right? So something as similar as like hardening skin or something like that, right? Like kind of like the spell Stone Hands is what I was thinking too, or bark skin.
Yeah.
Something similar to those, where you can increase your damage mitigation or increase your like unarmed damage by changing the physical properties of your body using like mineral and hardness, because that's what I think of when I think of earth kind of stuff.
Yeah. Physical resistance and resilience. I'm trying to figure out like where to put this stuff down. Well, I guess I can still put it under the magics. It's gonna get really crowded. I'm gonna do it anyway. Earth. Making sure that's showing up. Okay, so for shaping, shape. Harden. It was mineral or fully mineral compounds. Which I think is a good way to do that. Biomancy is bolster the mineral contents of the body, increasing physical resilience and
kind of.
Huh?
Oh, I was reading the chat. So astrology for zombies, and I said kind of.
Oh, kind of. Yeah. What's the word I'm looking for here? Resilience and I don't know. Resilience. Physical resilience. Okay, cool. Infusion. Saturation of energy into an object.
So we're pouring like earth energy into an object, right? So if we have like weapons or armor, we're going to increase durability.
Yeah. So we say of solid objects. Or so for other stuff. Yeah, no. Here's the physical hardness and durability of an object or structure. Manifestation, calling of energies and forces from elsewhere. I think this is where we just put, this is the energy becomes the earth stuff, right?
Do you want to build a golem?
Yeah. Yes. you turn the melancholic humor into actual stone.
Yeah. I want to build a golem. But yeah, you could just make it, I almost think of like create water, but instead it's like create sandstone.
Right.
I have a brick of sandstone for you. Would you like some granite?
Right. Okay, and then psychomancy, manipulation of mental energies.
This is one where it gets a little more tough. This is where we have to go, instead of away from just the earth, now we have to go more into the melancholic itself. So I think this is one where you can manipulate to where we're going to use melancholy, where people kind of have, you can create like sadness or dissonance or, negative emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Since that's traditionally how we look at melancholy.
Yeah, and the others don't have anything like that. So we can also tie it to like the season, winter.
Sure. Well, I was going to say they kind of do in that. Choleric is anger. If you're choleric, you are angry, so you can stoke.
That's true. That's true.
Phlegmatic tends to be humorous or silliness or whatever when you use that as a thing. And sanguine is people are accepting and peaceful. So sanguine, it would be like being able to.
That is true. I just forgot. I actually forgot phlegmatic was the other definition of it.
Okay, yeah. The reason I know these, by the way, straight up, is because in the Horus Heresy, the Mournival, which is Horus's advisor group, there are 4 of them. They're divided up by these humors, and they're also marked with a different phase of the moon because they were Luna Wolves.
Of course.
And if you assign it to each one, I could tell you, Abaddon was choleric, Horus Aximand was melancholic, Garvio Loken was sanguine, and Tarek Turgadin was the phlegmatic one. So yeah, I just know those because of those based off the personalities of the legionaries. So it's like, right to hand in my mind because I associate it with something specific.
So this should be something that we can tie to both a buff and debuff, essentially, right? Like the downside, of course, would be like ennui or depression or just let's see, create.
I love the phrase ennui, by the way.
Ennui, sadness, or depression. Also, or slash. So then the upside of that, looking at winter, old age, could maybe also draw in feelings, maybe like almost like stoicism, kind of like a mental resilience in a way.
Melancholy can also represent shame.
Could.
But I don't know. I like giving,
because I'm looking at it in the.
I like
what kind of things can winter. I'm looking at the winter and old age part of it too.
Yeah.
For the buff part.
I like giving like a buff to like not wisdom exactly, but something like that, like a. Because we don't have wisdom as a stat, obviously, but something similar to a wisdom buff where you get to have a thing like that. I don't even know how I'm wording it right now. My brain is going blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it's mental energies. Because trying to do some kind of wisdom-esque thing is really tough.
Oh yeah.
For now, we stick with it because we went with emotion on the debuff. Let's maybe stick to that for the buff for now, and we can always come back and flesh these out even further. So, but emotion stuff. I know stoic helps for now. I think of that as a thing that tends to come as one gets older. If you learn more about your fit, and also people who are in winter a lot tend to have that attitude. Stoicism. What's the word? Not defiant is not the word. Steadfast.
Sure. Yeah.
Steadfastness. Because I'm thinking kind of like you could use it to protect you from mental attacks, essentially, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Resolution. There we go. And then casting, directing of forces and powers. That's moving. All right, it's moving the rocks.
It's like doing the cool, like where you like do the like earthquake stomp thing, or like wall of stone and things like that.
Yeah. not really, but that's what I typed. But
it's very similar.
Moving stone, sand, soil, salt. You could be a salt bender. Salt's a fully mineral compound. It's not even a compound. Yeah, it is a compound. Wait, no. It is it's a molecule.
Right. It's still a compound. It's true.
Yeah, there's multiple things because it's a whatever those.
It's been a long time since I took high school chemistry.
Right.
I'll be honest.
Either way, it's fully mineral. So yeah, you could salt the shit out of people.
Salty yo.
Call it a salt.
Yes, it is NaCl.
Yeah, that's it. I tried my brain tried to read that. I was like, what is... Oh, no, that's...
Cool. It's sodium chloride.
Yeah, sodium chloride. Mitigation, dispersing and diffusing forces and energies.
I think that one would probably actually be the, like, Stonewall Shield style thing.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
You could also do a cool thing where, if you're kind of creative with it, where you can ground yourself for electric stuff because you're literally dispersing that through a ground.
Yeah.
Because you are like one with the earth.
Oh, but also mitigation was kind of its own thing too.
Yeah. Yep.
So
yeah, it was.
So I guess the earth wall would just still be like casting or shaping or both, and mitigation. I guess like for all of them, I think mitigation is literally just like your ability to counter that element. To like
to shut down somebody else's usage and ability. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So that.
Mitigation is the only one we don't have to come up with an extra one for.
Yee. Let's work.
Sweet. Go. Right? Cool. So... Water. Yeah, the thing about like basic high theoretical marks, that's probably getting scrapped. But... because that's just meh. Right, here we go. Water, phlegmatic. Normally, see, move, shape, condense, vaporize. Man, that's an interesting one because I think those all still fall under shaping. Yeah. Except move. Again, everything but move, I think, goes under shaping.
Freeze it, vaporize it, all that stuff. Yeah. That's very much...
Because that's literally just the molecules.
Yeah, you're controlling its state of matter, essentially.
Yeah.
You condense it hard enough, it'll just become ice. Doesn't even matter what the temperature is. If you condense it hard enough, it will just become ice.
Exactly. And you let it go free, it's water, and if you disperse it a bit, then it's fucking vapor. Because water is good like that. Shape, condense, or vaporize. Water or water dominant liquids.
Boo, Ellie, boo. I've seen that joke before. I guess probably.
So, water dominant fluids, biomancy. What
that one
do with biomancy?
So I think that one's going to be something like one of the things you can easily do with that is moving things kind of almost in your body, like in the sense that, so since we're mostly water, right? Mm-hmm. If we're controlling our like bodily thing, we're going to be able to like move things around, say whatever. Also like hydration levels, things like that. But then it's going to be that thing where we can kind of redistribute things across the body. So as like you have, like, I don't know, it's going to be able to be used because when we go with sanguine, because that covers blood, right? That's going to be dealing with like, if you have like toxins or things like that, I think that's going to be good at doing something with like, purging things out of your bloodstream. But I think water is going to be more motion related with yourself.
Would you be opposed to having water be just very powerful biomancy that can do a lot of shit? Right? Like, because I feel like it can cover a lot of it. Like, it can't do what, like, the melancholic can do on, like, hard mineral contents. But I can imagine you still being able to manipulate your blood or anything like that because it's so much of it is composed of water and it does
since
cover
we're
water
70% water. I think one of the things I was thinking of with melancholy is literally like being able to fit through spaces you should, or not with the water is being able to fit through spaces you shouldn't be able to fit through. Kind of thing. Like you gotta fit through, you gotta squeeze through this thing. You're redistributing your body mass because there's so much of you in this water. As long as the bone can fit through it, you can fit through it. Kind of thing. Where it's just like scoop and you can just squeeze and compress yourself and things like that. And also potentially like, you know, lengthening, doing some weird stuff with that. I don't know. I like the idea of whippy arms. Not like Piccolo level whippy arms, but whippy arms.
So say redistribute bodily fluids and manipulate physical elasticity. Ooh. Make someone make someone be their pants. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be fun.
If you get them, you gotta get them.
I think something that would also be kind of interesting to do with water, specifically too, would be being able to like use almost like disguise self kind of where you like rearrange your face a little bit. Not like an extreme level, but it is going to be like you shift your facial features somewhat and stuff like that. So you could pass it off as like assisting to a disguise check or something like that.
Heavily. You can look very, very different by changing like fluid levels.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to necessarily be like my nose is going to be the same like size nose. That's not going to change. But yeah, like my cheeks, all this stuff, like the jawline's going to be the same, but everything around it could be so different. I could make myself look like all pudgy and whatever, like I've got a fat suit on and like past that. And then it's the next checkpoint if I really want, I make myself look really sunken and sallow and sleep deprived or whatever.
Cutting weight.
Yeah, exactly. And those versions of myself will look so vastly different from who I am.
Absolutely. Again, I could see that being crazy effective with disguises. Yeah. So hell yeah. Okay, so I put that in. Yeah, redistribute bodily fluids, manipulate physical elasticity. I think the facial alteration is also an elasticity thing because
I definitely think it's covered in that. That's just a use I thought of being able to do with that. Which
is what we want people to do. That's why we want this to have definitions for what they can do, and then people can get creative about what they try to do with it. Some shit should be pretty fucking easy if you're using magic. It's all finite resources too. So, well, technically renewable, but like it's not just shit you just got in spades most of the time.
Yeah.
Stuff with a shelf life. The humors don't last forever either. So.
Right. Totally.
Anyway, okay. So next is infusion. Yep.
I think that one's a little tougher, but we could do. I don't know how we can like infuse objects.
Okay. Infusion. Water. Phlegmatic. Let's see, what else does it represent? Autumn, maturity, qualities, cold and moist.
Moist.
Obviously, we could lean into the cold, right?
Yeah.
So we'd say
we could just infuse things to where they can do cold damage.
Cool object or
like cold damage. But also, phlegmatic is with being with autumn has to do a lot with changing of the seasons. That's a big thing in autumn, right? And like not renewal, but like entropy, I guess, almost in a way where things start to fade. So you could also, if you wanted to, you could make things more brittle. You'd be able to infuse brittleness into things.
Definitely could.
Instead of infusing in this case, you'd be removing. Like you remove moisture from something, it's going to dry it out and make it super brittle and easy to break. Like a wooden door, let's say. You just suck all the moisture out of a wooden door.
And saturation are also part of it. So desiccation and saturation, two opposites. You can do either of those.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Someone yell, or was that me?
That was Patrick's audio.
Because I told it to stop doing it and it didn't care. I don't even know what it was. I don't even know what alert that was supposed to be. Anyway, which I guess in that case we should go in on infusion in earth. I should change that instead of increase physical hardness and durability of an object or structure. I should just say manipulate.
Yeah.
Because they could decrease it by removing mineral content, making it unstable, right?
Yeah. Totally. I like this two sides of the coin control thing with it, where we can do the positive and the negative. So I do like that. I feel like it gives people more to work from.
Yeah. You see your physical hardness structure. Because part of the reason that I wanted to do this is because it also has a built-in second effect. When people, especially in combat, decide they want to do something with magic, it depending on what they're doing, it immediately tells you what rolls they have to make to do that, right? Because it's now got definitions for each of these things. When we get to the end of this, I had one other thought about Emira, so just remind me that is there. Anyway, so redistribute body fluids, rapidly cool object, desiccation, and saturation. Okay, and then manifestation, calling of energies and forces from elsewhere. That one's an easy one.
Great water.
Yep.
Also, in this case, do you want to build a snowman?
Right.
Actually doing it. I made the joke earlier. Let's go.
It's various states matter.
Don't sue us, Disney.
I don't know, dude. I don't think that was good enough. But anyway.
No, I don't think it was either.
Psychomancy.
Nor was it long enough.
Water. Phlegmatic.
So, let's see. This one, I think we can do like the Toss Sidious Laughter style spell. Where we can really ramp somebody's like joy levels up. And then, I think that's like I want to say the offensive version of that almost. And the defensive version of that is just being able to do like a general like morale boost. Yeah.
Oh, its organ is the brain, also water or phlegmatic. So, say hysteria, mania, or slash. Now I'll just put these all together. Hysteria, mania, encouragement. No. What's a good word for that? Go for hold on. It's a good word for confidence, but not confidence.
I don't know. I was just going to say morale boost, but
certainty. No, that's not good either. Yeah, morale boost. I'll just put it.
Yeah, I can't.
That says what it is.
Yeah. Machismo. No, not quite machismo.
It's very masculine.
That's more choleric, anyways. That's more the
true.
Positive side of choleric.
Casting, move the water. I don't know how the fuck I spelled water like that.
Water.
I spelled it W-A-T-T-R-E.
Water.
Water.
Watra.
Watir.
Or
Watra.
Watra.
Yeah.
Water. I don't know. Is it an amper or is it a water? Which one kills you?
Wow. Move.
The answer to that is amps.
The water. Liquid.
You could say you're one of them. Is it amphibious? The watt, or I don't know.
You're learning too much money, right?
Amp and
I definitely don't fucking know.
Well, amp, like the amperage, but
okay, I get the joke you were trying to do now. Yeah.
Something that can live in water
and on land. Needs lots of moisture. Do people who hate the word moist also hate the word moisture?
Great question.
Well, they need to get the fuck over
somebody should tell us. Because I also want to know.
You remind me of the fucking teenagers that we went to high school with. I can't stand it. Fucking shut up.
Everything is more extreme when you're a teenager, though. Your sense of disgust as a teenager is legitimately higher. That's why they're so fucking awful.
Bitch, we live in Oklahoma. It's fucking moist out.
Everything is. The fucking... Until it's
winter. Today was awful.
Until it's winter, then everything is ashy as fuck. It's like, oh, okay, I guess we don't get any moisture. Everything's just dry forever.
Let's see. What are we doing next? Choleric, fire, desire, dire.
Yeah, sorry.
Is that next?
I was thinking just why I called Oklahoma ashy. But it is in the winter, dude.
Dude, I get such bad dry skin in the winter. Like, I have dry skin all year, but in the winter, it's awful. Awful.
Literally every other time of year, it's wet for no reason. Landlocked state, fucking moist everywhere.
We do have more like shoreline footage than both coasts put together. Thanks to all the man-made lakes we have.
Hate it. But yeah, next would be I gotta get off thesaurus.com. Choleric. But I also thought of
a brown note word. I just immediately thought of like a word of command. If you just poop your pants, like the spell is just poop your pants.
Poop pants.
It's a word of command, but the only command is poop your pants.
Word of poop pants.
Anyways, okay, so choleric.
Why is this a 7th level spell? Oh,
for shaping. We're gonna control the shape of fire. Does that also mean that, like...
So, hold on, wait, I was trying to get to a thing before that.
The
immure thing. Rather than... Because I think in the initial idea, you had to have it to invoke any of the other humors.
Mm-hmm.
I think instead of that, it's... You have to use it... God damn it. I was still thinking of this stupid spell. If you're trying to combine other humors into, like, you want some kind of choleric and melancholic effect, right? You have to bond it with immure.
Okay.
You can't just combine the two.
I also feel like because we're doing mitigation as like the most, I don't want to say bland, where you just mitigate stuff. I feel like you need a little bit of immure for mitigation.
I agree. Because it is also the void one, so it makes sense.
I just think, it just fits in my head.
Yeah, so. I agree.
No, not manure.
No. God, no. Okay, so choleric. Fire.
It
Everyone's
is,
favorite.
You can tell it's like past 11 o'clock because we just run into poop jokes.
Right? Yeah.
None of us slept enough. So,
never.
We're just controlling the shape of the fire.
So it's... I don't know why this one is the only one that spells out create, but it is. The original breakdown is create, sustain, project, intensify. This can cause flames to ignite from thin air using the humor's energy as fuel rather than a physical material. It can heat conductors, launch flames, and cauterize wounds.
Well, so we know that's what like manifest fire is going to be.
Yeah,
just being able to like cause fire to become something. But shaping fire, I guess, would be controlling the intensity of fire, being able to both douse and fuel the fire, right?
I feel like it still comes to probably still more manifestation.
Yeah.
You're drawing more out of the energy. I think shaping is just like the others. I think it's just control the shape of it.
All right. Yeah.
You know, like maybe the I guess that could also mean like that you can essentially condense it, or this is how you can fireball, right?
Yeah.
Condense it really to as much heat as you can into a small space.
You can basically just make a bomb. Yeah,
exactly.
You basically just make a bomb.
So we say, it does what it says in the tin. It shapes.
I mean, homemade Molotovs is what I was kind of thinking of, in that you literally have a bottle and you condense it into this bottle and then just chuck it real fast. Be like, here you go.
Right? And oh god, that's it. You fuck your shaping her all up, so you get it condensed, and like right as it leaves your hand, it fucking goes off.
Right in the face, yeah.
Thought you were good at this. No, I'm on fire. But yeah, so condense, expand. Also, did this specify fire or heat? Because one of those is a bit much. It's fire or heat is what it says. Heat is a lot. Heat is really powerful. Being able to manipulate that.
Yeah.
But I think we keep it. What do you think?
I think it's fine. I mean, as long we keep it for now. We run into problems, we change it later.
Yeah, if people just start breaking it, like.
But speaking of that, I think with biomancy, I think being able to control the temperature of your body is one of those things that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Somebody grabs you, and instead of like breaking the grapple, you basically just are like, I'm just gonna be real hot now.
Right.
See how long you can hold on.
Well, and so Ellie says, so create would cost more than sustain. Yes. I feel like it should, for sure.
But I also like conceptually for biomancy, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, it's really cold outside. Cool. I'm just gonna heat myself up, so I'm not gonna get hypothermia. Or it's super hot outside. I'm gonna disperse this heat through my body because I control heat levels.
Hell yeah.
So I'm not gonna be just sweating like crazy like everybody else is.
Heat or flame. There. Yeah, for the biomancy, that's dope. Let me read Ellie's questions real quick here. Fire. Lyric. Okay. So create would cost more sustaining. I'm gonna say yes. In pretty much all cases, that makes more sense. What would be manipulation of straight energy? Create heat by vibrating atoms, electricity, splitting the atoms in small scale. We're definitely not getting into splitting atoms. So that's definitely getting into the thermodynamics. Heat is straight energy, right? Like that's what energy is at its like most base level. Create heat by vibrating atoms. This is still magic. You gotta remember, we're using a little bit of like kind of scientific ideas. You can use physics sort of to your advantage with some things. This is still magic. So the heat is coming from using this magic to release the primal force of this humor. That's where it's coming from. It's not actually coming from the vibration of atoms.
We get to bypass the law of conservation of energy.
Exactly.
We don't care about that.
Create waifu is the highest level spell guarded by clerics. Suddenly Panda's awake.
He's like, I heard waifu, what? Where?
It looked like he booted up. Like...
Oh no, it was the keywords were activated.
Waifu. That was it. That was
no, it's like a sleeper agent. You say the correct number of words in sequence, and it awakens. No,
so like toothpaste, orange, bubblegum, lipstick, and then you're like, boop, time to, do whatever weird thing I was sent here to do. And to destabilize
so many
the
foul
economy.
things. Now I'm just imagining of like,
Bye-bye.
oh yeah, after brushing your toothpaste, you drink a glass of orange juice and then have some bubblegum.
Yikes.
Like, now I must buy all of the peanuts in America to stabilize the economy. It's like, that's a weird sleeper agent. Yeah, man, whatever. That's what we put you here for.
Yeah, the Sleeper Agent manual we got was from the 20s.
Yeah.
No,
he's
that's
not making any sense. And
you just start moonshining.
He's smoking a lot. But yeah, that
gotta move to California.
Create waifu. You fucking imagine that's like the big secret that the church has been keeping. Is
there we go.
You like break into their like high sanctum, like having to kill like high-ranking like priests and shit. There's like liches and stuff. You finally get into like the top cathedral, and it's just like they're like, no, you can't look upon her. And, like they've summoned one of the like ancient champions, and it's just this anime waifu. It's like,
the fuck,
guys, what is this?
Yeah, I was expecting like the deep dark secrets of the universe. I get a fucking anime waifu.
I was gonna ask.
Here's the deep dark secrets.
What are pillows like filled with in this universe?
We're not getting into the body pillows. Look, listen, I'm gonna do the rarest
you just
things,
create
guys.
a body
I'm
pillow.
gonna keep us on track, and I'm just gonna keep talking over you. So, anyways, we talked about biomints, so let's talk about infusion now. And I guess in this case, we're gonna heat shit up, right? So we can do the spells like heat metal, or
I already forgot what biomancy was. Weapon, you said make yourself hot.
Yeah. Or you can make yourself not hot.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
Stealth waifu. Make yourself hot.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it is. I'm going to make myself irresistible to the opposite sex. No, that is not what I know.
You lust to get your waifu. I want to become my wife. We are not the same.
I want to become my wife. Like, have at it, buddy. Roll credits. Alter the temperature of the body. Actually, I think that pretty much sums it up, actually, for biomancy, doesn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Alter the temperature of the body.
Being able to alter your body temp is pretty good. Pretty solid.
And we'll say maybe
I want to say
from protect from the effects of high temperatures.
Yeah.
Right. So that way you can do shit like light yourself on fire or whatever and not be burned. Because, a
weird thing that I would also be able to argue for here is because you can heat yourself up a little bit, you could also prevent yourself from like pulling muscles and things as easily because you have the ability to literally warm your body like from a cold start. Yeah. So it would be one of those things where you get to not necessarily you maybe get to like increase initiative bonuses or something like that if you use this. That's just something you could potentially do, like increase reflex or whatever, because you're always warm. Yeah. Right. You're always warmed up.
Because so I don't want to put that it protects you from low temperatures for a specific reason, and it's just that because you can manipulate your temperature, right? Right. You can keep your homeostasis. I think it just works. I don't think I have to put the protect from temperature.
No, I don't think you have to. By being able to make yourself hot, you are going to be able to avoid hypothermia, but you will not be able to necessarily mitigate like cold damage spells, right? Like if somebody hits you with like a frost spell, you can maybe shake off the effects of being frozen, but you're still going to take the damage from cold. Yeah. You're not gonna be able to mitigate that damage, but you will be able to at least mitigate like negative effects of being cold. But that's just naturally from heating yourself up.
My initial thought was like if you can, regardless of if there's like a temperature-based attack of some kind, if you keep your body, your surface temperature, your inner temperature, all copacetic, regular, you're fine. And that's whether everything around you is freezing ass cold or burning hot. If your temperature is, if you can do enough with your humors and like burn enough of that shit to keep yourself normal, you're good. You can walk through it. I mean, you won't be able to breathe through walking through fire, but like hold your breath.
Right.
But
yeah, it's using all of the oxygen.
But like either way, but I think altering the temperature of the body is there. That's what it is. Cool. Infusion. I think that one's also in this case pretty fucking easy, right?
Yep.
Fire. Choleric.
We just heat stuff up. Basically. You can also suck heat out of things, right? So you control the temperature of objects.
Well, we have rapidly cool is on water also.
Okay, well, I don't know. I wouldn't say you can necessarily rapidly cool, but you can siphon heat off objects. I don't know how rapid it's going to be, but you can do it faster than things would normally lose heat.
Heating or dispersal of heat.
Yeah, I think that's a better way to put it. Because you can disperse heat from it. Like if there was something that was like, I'm going to use a weird example. A meteor hits the ground, right? It's super hot because it just went through atmospheric reentry. You can disperse that heat off this meteor or whatever, so it's not just like a burning wave. Or like you take a hot coal and you can disperse the heat energy of the hot coal, so you could just pick it up and throw it at somebody if you really wanted to, and it not burn your hand or whatever, right?
True.
Like you're not going to rapidly cool it, but you're able to disperse the heat to where it's now room temperature, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So object. Cool. Rapid heating or dispersal of heat from. No. Manifestation. Summon fire.
Yeah. Making fire. The spark cantrip is cool and underutilized. I like fire.
Psychomancy. This is gonna be fun.
So this one definitely like choleric, right? You enrage. So I think we're gonna go both directions in this, where like negative, like you can stoke rage in an enemy to make them do a foolish thing, but also you can buff people like how barbarians rage, where they can just go into a state where they're like able to ignore certain kinds of damage or whatever because they're raging essentially.
Yeah. Should we also
ignore fatigue or whatever? I don't know, because that's one thing. Like being angry it's really good if you're tired, but you're angry. You forgot you're tired because you're too busy being angry.
Reduce rage. We could also even have this just. So obviously, the rage is 100% sticking. We can also just have that it intensifies an emotional state as well.
Yeah, I like that. Mm-hmm. I like intensity.
All right, then casting. Well, time to throw some fire.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to flamethrower people with my hands. I want some pyrokinesis. P-Ray Cult Discipline. Man, what's the last one?
Nothing.
The last one's Sanguine, right?
Yes. Sorry, I was checking because I thought something moved.
Oh, no worries.
Like, what the fuck was that? Last one is Sanguine. That is blood, representing air. Its originals were direct, produce, ionize, or infuse the air itself. This can create powerful gusts, produce breathable air, poison or purify air, or even create electricity. I should have said generate electricity, but still, same difference.
Same diff in this instance. So, first is shaping. So, you can move air around, right? Or not manipulate air. So, I think one of those things is like obviously being able to condense air or it's like expand out air. What you can do with that realistically is if you can manipulate air to where you make the molecules thin enough, it's not breathable in a room anymore.
Yeah.
Or if you're like somewhere in a sealed environment that you're like, oh, we're gonna run out of air, you can pull all that air essentially that you have around you in tight, so you're not having that like negative effect. Like when you're at high altitude, let's say, right? You're at high altitude and everybody's struggling to breathe. You don't have that problem. You're just like, whoop, here it is. Here's my condensed bit of air right here. So I'm breathing at sea level, where everybody else is out here running at high altitude levels.
Disperse.
Or the same kind of thing, like for shaping is, you know, where you have like, oh, this air is toxic. Well, I can, you know, move the toxicity out of the air to make it kind of like breathable.
Yeah, I think shaping will do all that stuff. We'll do condense, disperse, purify, or what was the other word? Putrefy or poison? If you pull it towards you, do they get less? So yeah, in the event that like if you're
in a closed
making
system,
the air
yes.
thinner in a space, yeah, you can. Yeah, if you're in a closed space, you can definitely do it that way.
If you were like outside in the mountains, though, no, because it's an open air system, right? They're still going to get the same amount of air. You're just going to get more.
Yeah, I would like. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that with just like an easy use of shaping. That would take a few different things. Yeah. I would say you could probably do that with shaping, like try to like thin the air around them and sustain that, and like follow them with the effect.
It'd be way easier in like a room or an enclosed space.
Way easier
than being outside, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't think I want to know what Panda's looking at right now.
Do what now?
I said I don't think I want to know what Panda's looking at right now.
The fucking Omega chat.
Oh.
On Reddit. So it was blurred.
With biomancy,
yeah,
that's where we're on next, right? Biomancy,
yeah.
I definitely like the like toxicity, like blood toxicity levels and stuff, right? So like if you're poisoned, you should be able to like, you know, get rid of that, because we're also going around with air and dealing with toxicity levels in air. I like that having that same ability on like your bloodstream, but also you can toxify others in that, like, you know, essentially since you're controlling their blood levels, you can make it to where they're going to like bypass oxygenating blood, or you're gonna make like they have like arrhythmia weird things kind of, because you're essentially controlling their blood flow. So it's like what's a stricken heart or whatever, that spell where you basically make somebody have like the heart stop, almost like having a heart attack.
Kind of heart
you can kind of do that to them. Or if there's like a poison or a toxin in them, you can intensify its effect, where it's like, oh, it's a slow release toxin, you're like, nope, it's fast release. Or they're poisoned, but you're like, oh, we don't want them to drop dead at the party. So you can affect that to where it's like a time release poison almost, where they're going to pass out 10 minutes later instead of dying from poison directly in front of you, kind of thing.
Yeah, alter the blood toxicity levels. Okay, hell yeah. And then also the organ it's tied to is the heart.
Which is why I liked the like stricken heart style thing, right? Where you just basically make somebody just have a minor heart attack.
Air embolism, yikes.
Oh yeah, dude. An air bubble in your bloodstream will kill you.
Yeah, that's one of those things. It's like probably not going to be a thing you can do. It's very much that like, very can I do control water inside somebody's body? And it's like, no, that's just insta death. Like,
no, that would be incredibly high level like marks to be able to create an air pocket inside the bloodstream. That's functionally
like power word kill. You know, like that's a
it basically
generally speaking, you just fucking drop dead. Like, especially if you don't have medical attention or anything, if you even survive that happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, so probably not a thing that you can just do.
Yeah, being able to like create a blood clot in somebody's body would also be that same kind of thing, where in theory that could easily kill somebody.
Yeah,
and it's just like, or you're like causing a stroke at that point probably. But yeah.
Oh, I mean, Ellie said forcing an air bubble into the hypodermic needle before the doctor gives my rich significant other a shot.
Yeah, murder.
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
Murder. Anyways,
they
I mean, we didn't hear it here. That's all I'm saying. We didn't hear it either. I have no idea. I didn't hear anything. I'm not a witness, nor am I culpable, nor can I be brought into court or subpoenaed in any way, shape, or form because I heard nothing. I have no idea what you're talking about.
So infusion.
Again, I'm not a lawyer.
Electricity, probably. Oh yeah, that's right, because it can do electrical shit too.
I like for infusion, I do like being able to add current, like electricity to things, essentially, like shock damage or to electrify, kind of. I think that's cool.
Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Here we go. Air. Sanguine. So infusing it. This is also air. What else? What else would it do? I mean, yeah, obviously you can like aerate stuff. But in general, yeah, I think it would be charge a conductive material.
You could also do the opposite, I guess, too, where you can remove
charge / discharge.
Yeah.
Conductive material. No. That's it. Because I was gonna say, like, you can also, if it's something like somebody's got like a wooden spear, like, I want to do lightning damage with my wooden spear, and you could like surround it with highly ionized air, but that's not going to be an infusion thing. It's probably like shaping plus maybe infusion at that point, or manifestation even, which we're on manifestation.
I mean, lightning,
right? It's like you summon air if you need to. For some reason, you're in a vacuum or you're underwater or whatever, so you can create it, right?
Yeah.
But also, summon air, charge air.
I definitely think it'd be cool if you could mix like the biomancy of like water or maybe a weird mix of like biomancy and manifestation, like biomancy of water, manifestation of air to make water breathing function.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need a little mirror, you link them together, and then you're just like, whoop, I can breathe underwater now.
I think that makes perfect fucking sense. You'd fucking dope.
Or in theory, all you really need is like, you need a air, it doesn't have to be airtight, I guess, but it has to be like clay where it's non-porous. That's what I want. You have to have a non-porous material that is a bucket that you can pull over your head and just create air inside of it. Yeah. And then you can breathe that, but you're going to run out of air fast, so you got to keep doing it.
Yeah,
but that's like the old school
new air or whatever.
Yeah, it's like the really old school like diving equipment they had. It wasn't even sealed. It was just a basket like thing that they pumped air into with bellows. And if they didn't pump the bellows hard enough, the water level would rise and you would drown.
Yeah, I'm like
back in like the
fucking Mad Lad agreed
to
do that shit, man.
Yeah.
Fucking nuts.
They did that stuff in like the 1600s was insane.
I'm just letting you know it's 12:04.
It is. We are almost done.
We're almost done.
We're 2 away. Air. Sanguine. For psychomancy.
So I think like calm would be one good one here, like where you can provide calm to like allies. But then I also think like befriend or whatever as like the offensive style where you can get somebody else to like be on good terms with you, or at least level terms, you know.
Since bond or notional malleability, which sounds kind of gross, but you know. Casting. Air. Sanguine. Move air.
Move in air.
Control lightning.
Let's move it.
Be God.
That would be cool. I mean, essentially, like moving air, you can do like sonic boom style things. You can do, wind, like strong wind gusts. Because you're just moving air really fast. You're creating high pressure, low pressure stuff. Just woof, That'd be cool. So.
And you don't have to do Sonic Boom. You can also do like Sonic Colors. You can do like the old Sonic Adventures.
I knew.
I thought you were gonna make like a Tails or a Knuckles joke, but
that was coming. Save. Okay, edit. And then just so that I don't forget, let's put in here.
You can do Sonic. You can always just do chili dogs.
I'll put this under miscellaneous to use any multi-elemental effect. Or no. Using any multi-effect.
My Wraith Blades are assembled.
From your.
And I clicked all the extra bits. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Wraith Blades. There's the X's and shields.
Cool. Save that. Whew. So yeah, you got more magic categorized. That's pretty cool. We kind of know what it does now.
Hooray!
We obviously will still need to come out with ways to measure.
Yeah, like functionally,
how
like
to make it effective, right? Like,
get the how we gonna do like our spell levels in inverted commas here, and then also how we fuse multiple disciplines together, so that people aren't stuck in just using one type if they don't want to be. If they want to specialize, cool. If not, both in the elements and in also the disciplines, because if it's one of those things where, or the schools or whatever you want to call it, where you're able to use multiples or specialize in a single one or whatever. We're gonna have to kind of get into the nitty gritty of that.
Yeah, which I don't think will be super tough, because of the way that we're doing our skills, and these are skills, which means funny. Like, I mean, what's cool is it means like you don't have to be an invoker to be able to do this shit. It's just they're obviously going to get some different advantages to it, as well as other things they can do with these deals. Maybe expand some of the elements' capabilities.
So what are our goals for next time?
Next time's goals. Ellie, what do you want to hear about more of next time? What do you want us to work on?
Yeah.
Well, we also think.
Let's pass the buck to somebody else, because I don't want to think about it.
I know she's gonna say something lore based. I know it. I know it's coming. Oh, she says it's too much power. I doubt it. X to doubt. I was thinking lore actively, yeah. The reason I'm making that face is because if it's lore, it means that I'm gonna have to be working on that a long time before our next stream, which I'm fine with. Don't get discouraged. It's stuff that I work on anyway. So
yeah.
But any specific kind of lore, anything you want to know more about that we should expand on, because. Depending on how long that takes, one of the things that I'm thinking of maybe doing, just to kind of keep it fun, is maybe start fucking with the classes and seeing what we can do with them. Because we're gonna hit roadblocks.
Yeah.
Right? We're gonna hit stuff that we're like, we haven't fleshed that out, and then we go flesh that out. Right?
Yeah. I like working on the classes, and also I think going lore wise, since we are trying to do a very top down design where we make mechanics fit the lore, going off of the like lore origins of our classes and talking about that, I think will help us understand the mechanics we want our classes to excel at.
Okay. Lore origins of classes, talk about class mechanics. Got it. Let me put that in the talking points for next time, which will be the 7th one of these.
Hooray! 7th. That's Nurgle's number for those of you counting Chaos fans at home.
because what Ellie asked for is politics. Which the lore origins of these classes will likely have some politics involved. I'll have to chat with Dave offline about some of my ideas I had. But
we're definitely going to get into how the big three entities kind of affect classes as well, because that was something that we talked about in that all classes, of course, are going to be able to be deployed by whomever. Like, we don't want to limit our players, but that specific classes will obviously have more to do with specific factions in a way, right? Just because how things are. But yeah, that's definitely stuff we'll have to go over offline so we have a coherent response online, and I'm not just sitting here going, really?
Right. Classes and the commoner classes.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to take this opportunity now to remind everybody who's watching on YouTube to like, subscribe, do all those things that you're supposed to do on YouTube where you interact with the thing. But then also to please visit our Facebooks, Twitters, and Instagrams. Go over on all of those. And then we also have a Patreon where if you would really like to help us out, you can pledge an amount. We have a $1, $5, and $10 tier, and we will have rewards coming for those very soon. Since we just put it up, we're going to have those ready to go. And once we have enough people, our $5 to hang out, once we have enough people for that, we're going to be doing monthly hangouts. So come hang out with us.
Well, we have one right now, so
yeah,
we gotta get that did.
Yeah, hangouts are fun.
Yeah, we'll get that
schedule put on the schedule.
Just I don't know when does it charge? Ellie, did it already charge you? Did the Patreon already charge you?
Is this on what I think it is? Yes it is.
Yeah, it is. Charges on the 1st. Okay. I think because I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what I set it to.
Okay. What song is this? Because now I'm curious.
It's the whatever with the Kate Bush song from Stranger Things. Yeah, Run Up the Hill.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
I because I hear it and I'm like, I know
it got super popular because of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So in a couple of weeks. Okay, cool. So it'll be next month that we owe you a hangout. So cool. We'll make good on that.
We'll also post stuff in the Patreon section of our Discord, because if you're a patron, you get access to the patrons party in our Discord where we will have exclusive nonsense.
Let me go check. It was supposed to do it automatically. Let me see. I don't need to be online for this. Let's raid somebody. Let's raid somebody with our one viewer. Raid No Shadow Legends.
Yeah, forget those.